see, that little creature wanted to shout. So he got up and shout. He raised his hands and he shout. I can't remember much more of the song. So, yeah. Do you ever get that occasion where you start something and you immediately think, I probably shouldn't have started that? Anyway, we have a controller on. We have things on. We have a microphone that's picking up things. And now we have a game that is starting. Right, let's Final Fantasy. Unfortunately, as specified in the opening blurb of advertisements, this is probably going to be moderately dull again, because it's more of the same. This is the tail end of Final Fantasy XIII. I'm afraid. Well, I tell a lie. It's not technically just the tail end of Final Fantasy XIII, because once you get past this bit, it goes back to being quite heavy duty story flow. It's just this chapter 11. I think there is this is chapter 11 obviously, and then I think there's a chapter 12 and a chapter 13, and I think that's all the chapters, because they did 13 chapters for Final Fantasy 13. Everything revolved around the number 13. I thought it was very clever. When Vanille awoke from crystal stasis, she sought to deny her focus Cocoon's doom by lying that she, like Fang, had lost her memory, but instead of preventing a catastrophe, she only spurred her friend into reckless action. Desperate to prevent Vanille from becoming a Seath, Fang suggested they attack Sanctum Fal'Cie to kickstart their memories, and the tragic incident at Unedited Gorge was the result. Separated from her friend after their escape, Vanille drifted aimlessly until she happened upon Sarah. Though So's fiancé thought the meeting was their first, Vanille knew exactly who Sarah was. She was the girl who had wandered into the Bodum vestige, only to be turned into a lassie, a replacement for the Grand Pulsians who had seemingly abandoned their focus. Feeling crushed by the guilt and cruel fate, Vanille could have given up there, and then, had it not been for Sarah's voice, failure. But only just failure. Too much to deal with. You should face them later. If you can just survive, there's always the hope that you can overcome your problems. That hope is what has kept Vanille going until now. When she describes this touching interlude to Snow, the kind-hearted hero renews his promise to fulfill his beloved Sarah's wish. And Lightning, her anger, now a distant memory, means to help him do it. Fang left the gas on, and it's a rush to get back to the two-bed flat to fix the dire issue at hand. Yes. Exactly. You have summed up the entirety of Final Fantasy XIII in a single sentence, and I applaud you for it. Right, which direction are we going? I do not know. We want to head towards this little, whatever you'd call it, red star. Psst, it's not difficult to describe that, in fairness, is it? Right, so I think we're looking at this way, question mark? Yeah, pretty much got that roughly where we're looking at. Just double check trajectory. We don't want to have to piss around. I've got a feeling that the gap in the map is that big area. Yeah, because we can also see on the map in the distance there, off to the side, you can see the flat Seath stone. We'll go through the wolf. The Gorgonospids, I believe they were. Can't remember exactly which way the P and the S go. Gorgonopsid. So it's S's first. P's first. P's first, S's later. P first, then you can have an S in the morning. I don't know what the S stands for, but you can have a P whenever you like. If you need a P, I suggest you go for a P. It's unhealthy to not do so, I think you'll find. It strains the bladder and causes a myriad of health issues you easily avoided if you just go for the P immediately. Immediate P. I mean, that might be a new record for getting onto the topic of piss. 10 minutes in, he's already talking about piss. My God, the man's a menace. And absolutely fucking not normal. Oh, little buggers. I think that's a chocobo jump, so yeah, nothing will happen there. Still haven't found the chocobos, but yeah, annoying little turds. Can we? No, because he turned around. I think the mark is sort of lodged in amongst these guys. I don't know whether he is actually a separate thing or not. Do we actually have the information on them? Yes, we do actually have the information on them. Okay, interesting. We'll just have a auto battle. I might be suitably over leveled for these guys because obviously we did wander off and we did an entire dungeon when the order dictated that we should have done these first. Not that I knew that because I didn't know where they were, but as is being proven the case, we are absolutely wrecking these guys. So it's not. Yeah, it's not. I mean, there was no doubt. The moment we started the fight, there was no doubt. 5 stars, baby. Yeah. That's what we like to see. Nice supple leather as well. Everybody's wearing supple leather, and I'm not sure why. Frost rings. 2 times the frost rings. I don't really want the frost rings, but I suppose, you know, they exist, I suppose, so it's not terrible to have them. Right, so this is going to be one we all recognise. We do want to sort of pop round and do it. Can I leap that cap? Yes, I can. Cool. Just go straight in there and rip the shit out of these Rangers. Oh yeah, cracking lot of shit ripped out of the Rangers. Rangder does sound like it should be an Australian word. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I put it in an Australian accent. I mean, that does definitely help, doesn't it? I mean, if you came up with a different word and you said it in a different accent, it would probably sound like a word of that accent. So the fact that you came straight in with it, oh, g'day, mate, it's a Rangder. You got a Rangder of a task ahead of you, mate. But I don't know. It just does sound like that sort of the sort of slang you would consider an Australian to use naturally. But I don't know. You're a moron, aren't you? Yeah, very much so. Oh, hello. Oh, yes. Pirates of Old, defend our cause. Go for it. I don't have any emotes to defend the cause. So, kind of ruins the moment there. But, oh, hello. Why? Whoa, what's the other one? Oh, that's the harpoon cannon. I don't know who that is. Oh, Baz. Hello, Baz. I mean, I knew you were raiding. I didn't know you were following at the same time. But yes, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Baz, Skink, Katie, Lansdale. Welcome, y'all. I'll just use the end of Katie's surname as a general howdy-doody. Howdy, y'all. You gone down. Now I'm going to have to go into the Western for no good reason. Dom Depper. Well, you just harpooned your way to following a brand new streamer. It's going well. I mean, we've only just started, so technically it's difficult to know how it's going. But we beat a thing, and we've met Rangders. And I've suggested that Rangder sounds like the sort of thing an Australian would say. But primarily because I happened to be in an Australian accent when I said Rangder. So, how's your day been? Have you had a Rangder of a day? I bet you have. Gaiseric, the Profane. We technically already read this because we tried it and failed miserably, so we're going to have another go now that we're super strong. But yes, let's assess. Let's go ahead and yes, thank you very much, Mr. Baz, for the follow. Very much appreciate that. You harpooned your way to following a brand new streamer. That's what I say when someone follows. It's relatively new. I usually get it wrong. And also mixed with Don Dapper. Welcome. And you've harpooned your way. You've already done it for him. Yeah, you're right. I already did it for him. But he can have a second one, can't he? He'll feel special. You've harpooned your way to following a brand new streamer. Whether you're regretting that decision or not is entirely on you. But nonetheless, welcome. For anybody who's unaware, this is Final Fantasy XIII. It is considered one of the worst of the Final Fantasies from general perspectives. I don't blame you. Well, I do blame you for making lunch, but you're in America, so I suppose that's a different time frame. It's a bit late for lunch now, though. And I'll be completely sort of intolerant of different time zones. How dare you have lunch now? But yes, I appreciate you lurking, and I hope to have a good stream. Welcome. Thank you for coming. You've never played any Final Fantasies. Yada. I mean, they're not everybody's cup of tea. The turn-based RPG is sort of... it's still breakfast time. I was wondering, because usually it's around about the 8-hour mark. 6 to 8 hours, dependent on precisely which area you're in. Obviously, you know more so than I do that there's a sweeping of time zones across America. but from my understanding, it's usually about 6 to 8 hours. But yeah, a lunch for breakfast or a breakfast for lunch? I'd prefer the breakfast for lunch, in fairness. That would be much better, because all-day breakfast, you can just have, well, the clue's in the title. It's called all day. But yeah, this is Final Fantasy XIII. It's considered one of the weakest of the Final Fantasies because it's considered extremely linear, which I think helps the story, to be honest. It's one of the better stories. Although Final Fantasy VII, I think, is always going to be sort of the best of the best in terms of storylines. But yeah, I like the characters, the story in this one. And it had been a while since I played it, so I thought, I fancy this one. But yeah, it's SaturJay RPG, and every time we do SaturJay RPG, we're doing a JRPG, and this is the first one, in fairness. No, tell a lie, I did Pokemon the first several weeks. This is several weeks deep into Final Fantasy XIII. We're on Chapter 11. That still means there's probably several billion hours left of the game, but nonetheless, we are very much in the old later sections of the game. We've got the full party, we've got most of our abilities, we're sort of expanding into all the other separate roles and stuff. It's quite entertaining. Although this is, as I mentioned in my sort of preamble blurb advertisement, this is basically Grand Pulse. It's the land of side quests. So you're just wandering around fighting monsters. And another one of the things people didn't like too much, although having said that, it might be primarily me who didn't like it. Difficult to know if my view did line up with the world view or not on this occasion, but nonetheless, the battle system, the auto battle is pretty much king. I mean, in fairness, I've now gone full one-handed controller mode because I really don't have to give two shits about it. I'm suitably confident that I'm going to win this fight, that I have gone sort of one hand. All I need to do is tap A twice, and boom, we're attacking. There you go, once, twice, and it'll do it all by itself. That's the sort of game I can get behind. Tap the button twice, it'll do it by itself. Although having said that, my views on the auto battle system are that it's too good. It encourages you to go one-handed, two-tap, there we are, job done mode, when I'd prefer a battle system that didn't necessarily encourage such a thing. Which is why a lot of the other Final Fantasies have a better battle system. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, delicious battle system, that one. Final Fantasy X, however, is probably one of the greatest turn-based battle systems of all time. And I'll stand by that phrase. I will defend that. If anybody has any issues with that statement, I will defend it beyond comparison. Because even stuff like sort of Persona 5 and Yakuza Like a Dragon, I think, are possibly outmatched in terms of turn-based battle system for certain elements of Final Fantasy X. Because one of the key elements of Final Fantasy X that was perfect for a turn-based game was the ability to just swap your party members in battle on the fly, which made it just so good, because what it meant was, as a design, they could make enemies a little bit more specific to different party members. So some of them need to be sort of cleaved through because they're armoured. Some of them need to be sort of a different type of attack because they're flying. Some of them need a very fast person because they're speedy enemies. And because of that, you were encouraged to sort of turn different party members around. Granted, this is mostly on the early game side of things, because it is very much a sort of you can learn pretty much everything for everyone by the end of the game. But Final Fantasy XIII does that as well, so it's not. Although Final Fantasy X did it first, I suppose. But nonetheless, Final Fantasy X's battle system is a truly good turn-based battle system. It takes everything you would expect from a turn-based battle system and just does it perfectly. And that's what makes it quite so good. Final Fantasy XIII, its battle system's quite good, but it suffers from the fact that you can just auto-battle your way to victory, for the most part. Certain bosses and stuff, they can prove troublesome if you are just auto-battling your way to victory. But for the most part, most of the complexities of Final Fantasy XIII's battle system come from shifting paradigms, which you can't allow it to do automatically. Oh, there's a secret little treasure chest. Nooks and crannies. That's what you gotta look in. Nooks and crannies. If you see one, you gotta go there. I don't think I did a full sweep last time I was here. I very much went straight for the star, got the shit kicked out of me, and then left in a bit of a huff and decided to move on with the storyline instead. But this time I do hope slightly more to be able to sort of get in there and deal with the... Oh, hello, bye. I'm trying to get a back attack on them. Slightly more difficult. It's easier said than done. That's the phrase I'm after. Hey, there we go. Basically, if you can approach them from behind, this happens. You get a preemptive strike. Bink, bink. Their stagger meter. That's the other key thing in this battle system. The actual actions you do are almost secondary. That's why you can get away with the auto battle. Whereas the crucial elements you have to start doing and working around is both building the stagger meter, which is kind of tactical rather than necessarily you being actively trying to do it. Although you can actively try and do it. So there's a couple of key elements. So what you can do is, like there, I've cut the ATB short so that she can get the attack in immediately. And that's fairly crucial with the stagger meter, because if you're losing stagger, you can just go, attack, do a quick attack. That'll do. It'll at least keep the stagger meter staggering. And the other side of the battle system is knowing which paradigm you want at any given time. At the moment, with these sort of lower tier, well, now lower tier, the first time I was wandering around here, they gave me a bit of trouble. But they are now relatively lower tier. The crucial element for these guys is just, you know, just stick with Relentless Assault, assuming they don't do much damage to you, which they're not at the moment. You can just get away with boom, 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 attack, 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 and that's it. There's nothing too spectacular, but when you start getting into bosses, you are going to want to sort of pop, 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 pop. So, you know, bullies are quite a good one because it gets you the buffs and debuffs. But for the most part, I've discussed in the past that this Relentless Assault mode, which is Commando, Ravager and Ravager, again, I suppose arguably a lot of these terms are probably meaningless if you've not played Final Fantasy XIII, but I don't necessarily plan on going through every single detail unless specifically asked. If there is a detail you wish elucidated, I think that's the right word. It's a very fancy word if it is the right word. I hope so. It would please me greatly to have used a correct synonym of that. But nonetheless, if there's anything people would like clarified, I can, you know, I'm open to questions. So do feel free to ask if there's anything you don't understand in terms of the game. I will try and explain it. I'm not guaranteeing a good explanation. I'm not even guaranteeing a coherent explanation. Oh, Big Boy's out. Big Boy's looking quite close, isn't he? Oh, I think he is still sort of to the side up mountain over there, but nonetheless, look at that bastard up there. Look at him, fucking enormous. Jesus. Fun fact, I ain't beating that thing. Less fun fact, I might, if I can track it down. I mean, I think it's, yeah, I'm not sure. It might be around there, maybe. Because I don't think, I can't guarantee it, but I don't think it is simply background. I am relatively certain you can find your way to the big chunky beastie and you can fight it. However, I am relatively confident in saying it is optional. It is possibly, I think it might be akin to the old classic, and this will mean nothing to people if they've not played Final Fantasy, which is fair enough. It might be akin to the old diamond and ruby weapons. I don't necessarily think it would be considered a diamond or ruby weapon, but I think it would be akin to, but I can't guarantee that. I'm not going to lie, as much as I'm a fan of Final Fantasy, I don't have the patience or the skills Because it is the combination of the both, because you need to be skilled at the battle system to know what you're doing, and you need to be patient to grind your way to max level for most of these sort of big sort of optional bosses, a la the Diamond, Ruby. Diamond and Ruby are the only ones I can immediately think of. I don't know if there were other variations, but they're basically big giant bosses that kick the living crap out of you immensely easily. Like possibly this guy, but what we want to do is do a quick little scan. So this is where what I did there was Libra, which basically gets me a scan of the creature. I now understand its weaknesses and its strengths, so it's resistant to physical damage, halves magical damage, but weak to all elements, which is quite nice. Also, oh no, that's its immunities. So it's basically immune to almost every status debuff. More commonly known as ailments. I don't know why I call them debuffs, but technically it works as a thing. Right, here, now that I've had a lot of damage, you can see the other side of the battle system, which is where I have to shift paradigm. So now, instead of Commando and 2 Ravagers, I have a Commando, a Medic, and a Ravager. He is staggered, interestingly enough. It's still not doing a lot of damage, is it? Right, at this point, I think we're going to go Bully, which is Sabotage, Synergist, and Commando. The Commando is there basically to try and deal a little bit of damage and keep the stagger meters going. The Synergist applies positive buffs to your group. So you can see Hope is the Synergist, and what he's doing is he's applying Protect, which ups our defense power. He's applying Enfire, which attaches fire to our weapon attacks. And then other than that, I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. And unfortunately, Fang is a Saboteur, and she applies status ailments or debuffs to the opponent. Unfortunately, at this point, Fang is not a good Saboteur, so she's not got a huge amount of options. Plus, we saw he is immune to a lot of stuff. So it's not great news, but nonetheless, having a few buffs on. But in fairness, Hope is not the best Synergist either. So really, I've got Fang, who's a not great Saboteur, and I've got Hope, who's a not good Synergist. Lightning, however, very good Commando, which is why, of course, I've got her set as Ravager, because that makes sense. Have you got a team of losers? Yeah, I chose a team of losers. It's not. Whoa, Dolly. That seems unreasonable and unnecessary. I think Hope can bring us back from that. Yeah, I think we'll. Yeah, especially seeing as he's been launched. Because while he's staggered, he can still do things, but while he's launched, he's going to struggle. Because, you know, you try attacking something while you're flying through the air. It's difficult. Difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. Could you... Okay, yeah, no, we'd want Diversity back, please. And if you're interested, Diversity, Relentless Assault, they're just the names of the paradigms. Relentless Assault, fairly obvious, because you are just attacking with your Commandos and Ravagers. Basically, Commando is physical attacks primarily, and Ravagers are magical attacks primarily. They use elemental magic to dish out damage. I beat it! Brawler's Wristband. Marvellous. Mission complete. Spectacular. I think 5 stars as well, but I skipped it a bit quick. Yes, it was 5 stars. Marvellous. Your party has earned the rank of... Wait for it.
Bane Slayer. You have slain the Bane. Well done. But I broke the bat. You may have slain the Bane, but I broke the bat. It's lovely.
There you go. Has to happen whenever you see the word Bane. Ah, oh, poor mate. Sorry, Chief, but, you know, had to be done. You're going to double boss me? I don't think you're going to double boss me. It's a bit early for double bossing. Games do enjoy a good... specifically Japanese RPGs do enjoy a very much a sort of double bossing. And now we've beaten the big boy, the little boys are now gone. So, completely free to run around and kill the little Rangda fellas again. What's as nice? Right. Ooh, that one's opened up. Unexpected, but I suppose we might as well. It's right round the corner. Theoretically. Oh, there's that one that one's sprung up as well. And then there's a brand new area down there which we want to explore. So I think usually the general form, yeah, so we're probably looking at 10, 11, 12, yeah. So I'm thinking that one closest to me is probably going to be 13. Difficult to know for absolute certain, because obviously I've not been near it. Oh, he's facing us this time, and it's a bit lighter. You really see his sort of... Well, I'm going to call it a face. Sort of, you know, he is humanoid. You can see shoulders, face, and general other bits, but I'm fairly certain he is considered a fal'Cie, which are big. Just big. They're the big boys that, you know. We are Lucy, and no, we're not Indian milk, because I'm fairly certain that's a variation of the sound of Lucy. And we're also not a dog that finds things down wells. But nonetheless, we are Lucy, L''CIE, if you're really desperate for the spelling. I don't think you would be, but just in case. And that makes us sort of basically the idea is we're enslaved by the fal'Cie to do something called a focus. And if you don't do your focus, you turn into a monster. And if you do your focus, you turn into a crystal. Which is why the story is basically tragic, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But what we're doing here on this planet, and I will highlight a bit more when we get there, here we go. These are what are called Seath Stones. So they are people who failed their focus. They haven't quite turned into full monsters, but equally, they haven't fulfilled their focus, therefore they are sort of on their way becoming monsters. What we're doing is we are going, ooh, what's your focus? Oh, that's 52. No. We're not doing number 52. Why do men dream of flying? And why must we be there without wings? True, a nest of vipers hangs in our sky. Yet were the sky the province of all things harmful to life, still would I gladly soar amongst the clouds. What cruel irony, then, that I should be charged with smiting a winged Zenithra. Regardless, I had best head to the eastern tors. Then again, crystals cannot fly, and some Seath can. No, we're not doing number 52, because number 52 is probably going to be quite hardcore. At the moment, if you look at this little menu, again, not hugely important information, but I'll go into detail. What we've done is we've done 1 through 12 in numerical order, which is nice. And XIII sort of proved troublesome, but doable, obviously. We just saw it. And we've done 20. So I suspect anything between 13 and 19 we should be fairly safe doing. Anything around sort of 20 to 25 we're probably relatively safe. But anything above 25 I would not have any confidence in doing. So we have knowledge of 52, 56, 57, 58, 59 and 62, but none of those are likely to be doable. Because this is the sort of game where I'm afraid statistics rule the roost in this one. Whereas some games, you know, you get away with, yeah, but I'm just really that good. You know, turn-based RPGs tend to be more statistically driven. There is a point where being good at the fundamental battle system will not help you if your stats are too low. Which is, you know, it's a thing. It's unfortunate, but... Sorry, what language was that? Oh, have you never heard of the Zubapapa? Oh, they were a rare species of alien that invaded years and years ago. Were people unaware of this? I thought this was common knowledge. No? Just me who knows about the Zubapapa? Shame. But yeah, there you go. Welcome. I make strange noises. When I run out of things to say, I make strange noises. So enjoy. Enjoy that as a fact. Can we get a back attack on them? I mean, they're Gorgonopsids, so I'm not that fussed. Nah, he's looking at me, and most monsters are oddly sort of telepathically connected for the most part. Not intentionally, I don't think, but if one of the group is looking at you, it means all of the group can see you. There is no partial preemptive strike. There is no sort of, oh, you back attack this one, but the rest of them know you're there. There is no functionality of that. It is, if one sees you, all sees you. I don't think, when you say eat this, you don't actually mean that, do you? Because if the creature did eat your staff, which sounds a little bit like a euphemism, but we won't go too far into that. Oh, he's facing this way again. Look at the size of that thing. Do you know what? He weirdly, in the face region, he does weirdly remind me of Cabal from Mortal Kombat. Similar sort of shaped mask, I think, with the pipes hanging out the back. But he is a chunky lad, isn't he? As I say, at some point I might try and at least find him and get him into the battle. But the thought of actually defeating him, no. Especially not at this point, I mean. If I really did want to build shed loads of crystal points and go through every single piece of the Crystarium, at that point, I might stand a chance. But considering the fact that I do want to call Final Fantasy XIII complete at some point, that whole sort of get to absolute max stats, max level is not necessarily something I fancy doing. Only 3 stars. Disappointed in that. Well, I was doing better in that fight. Considering they're really easy creatures, genuinely disappointed. Right, what number are you? Number 13? Number 13. Marvellous. It is a cruel and contemptible contest the fal'Cie have devised, but one from which I may not yet absent myself. We assembled l'Cie must overcome innumerable obstacles as we compete to slay the goblin chieftain on the northern high plain. The prize? Freedom from bondage as a l'Cie. I will win, be made human again, and return to propose to my lover, from whose arms the tyrant fal'Cie stole me. So we're going after a goblin chieftain, and for those of you familiar with the goblins in this game, they're fucking weird. So that's something to look forward to. Where do we think? Oh, all the way over there. Now that's interesting, that one's flashing. Weird. I wonder if that one's only just turned up, because I'm not going to lie, I could have sworn I'd done most of the teleportation ones, but I mean, it really is just hoof it across the field again. And now I hope you understand why, at this point, I can't really give much in the way of sort of entertainment value from the game itself. I have to pick up the slack, I suppose, which is going to be difficult because there's no entertainment value from me either, but nonetheless, this game is now... Which way do you want to cross this field? Cool. You've crossed that field. What do you want to do now? Or what does the game want you to do now? I suppose there's more to the point. What does the game want you to do now? Cross the field again. Cool. Cool. Okay. That's fine. I'll cross the field again. What does the game want you to do? You know that field you just crossed? Why don't you try crossing it again? So I have crossed this landscape quite a few times, and I have gone down paths, then back down the path, and then the game says, oh yeah, we put a quest at the back of that path. But you're not allowed to do that quest until you've gone down that path at least once. So it's not like you could actually do it hugely efficiently, I don't think. I think a lot of this is the game is designed inefficiently. So it's not like you can just gather up all... Because you can only take on one quest at a time, which is slightly problematic. But... anything spectacular there? No. The little sheepies, but... The little sheepies aren't doing anything for me at the moment. They just exist, really. There's no use for sheepies. You cannot kill them for their life force. That's a Overlord reference for you right there. Oh, I've angered the man. Oh, here we go, goblins. Goblins to the left of me, goblins to the right, here I am. Yeah, back attack with goblins. That's what we like. Oh, it didn't count. I mean, it was definitely back attack though, wasn't it? Fuck you, game, fuck you. I'm fairly certain we've actually been against a goblin chieftain before. Yeah, we've already got his scan data, or at least all of the relevant information. So, don't really need to care too much. I think this is going to be just a fairly straightforward bash 'em done sort of affair. Are they really? Yeah, they're halved physical attacks. That's why Fang is using magic. So that's that. You know, I think I was partially through explaining it, but when you Libra something, you scan it, and I already said that bit, and you find out all of the weaknesses and immunities and normalities and all that stuff. What that does is it then affects what they do in terms of auto battling. So if you look, theoretically... Nope, she's ignoring it. Okay, that's fine. Fang is better at attacking than using magic in general, so even though it's halved physical, it's clearly worked out that she can do more damage. Although now she's doing Ruin, so fuck knows. Sometimes fuck knows. But I think she'll bias standard attacks when they're staggered. No. Oh shit, Lightning's dying because I'm trying to figure out why she's doing her choices, which is not useful. Oh, it might... No, I don't know why she's doing physical attacks. I could manually tell her to do... Because you don't have to rely on the auto battle. I could manually tell her to use magic if I wanted to, but I am, you know, with Fang, I'm relatively confident her physical strength is sufficiently higher than her magic that attacking is probably better, truth be told. Sometimes I do a manual sort of assessment, you know, pile in like a attack, ruin, attack, ruin, attack, ruin, and then try and assess which one's doing more damage. But to be honest, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, very lazy gamer, aren't you? You're very, very, very lazy gamer. But see, I don't think, as I say, I don't think Ruin is doing that much more, truth be told. It is now biasing the idea of doing Ruin, because of course, halved physicals, I suppose, but now suddenly not. It's a very peculiar decision. Yeah, I think maybe a physical was doing, but I think that part of the problem might be simply that they're roughly the same amount of damage, which means maybe the AI is literally in a state of, it don't matter. It don't matter which one I choose. It don't make a difference. And at that point, it's going to be like, oh, I'll just do whatever clever, whatever I fancy. I can understand, though, why it does attack. Oh, I can definitely understand that pattern. What that pattern is doing is launch and then using magic. That, genuinely clever. Game. Genuinely clever. I mean, you didn't have a plan, boy. You barely have a health bar, let alone a plan. How to do mission complete, yes. Cobble tight. Do you have tight cobbles? No, it's these blasted trousers. Can I leap down from here? I suspect no. No. It's annoying. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. It's very difficult to tell which is which half the time on these maps. Because they don't always... You know, you would think maybe, you know, if it's a gap on the map, you can't jump it. But unfortunately that's not the case, because we found out last week there was a gap on the map and I could jump it. So, all in all, bloody awkward. Shall we take on these two chaps? Yeah, maybe. I think we can always get the rear preemptive strike because they're fighting each other. And them fighting each other makes the Behemoth King a lot easier to deal with. Behemoth Kings, if you're unaware, are a pain in the arse. Anybody who's played Monster Hunter might be aware, because you may have played Monster Hunter and not Final Fantasy. And if that is the case, you may have experienced the Final Fantasy crossover. Admittedly, that is the Final Fantasy XIV Behemoth, I believe, which is subtly different, but it doesn't make too much difference. Behemoths, no matter where they come from, are pretty troublesome villains, or beasties, creatures, whatever you fancy calling them. They are nonetheless trouble with a capital T. The emphasis makes it seem like they're worse, yes. But with the Megistotherion as an ally, temporary admittedly, but nonetheless an ally in that battle, it's not too bad facing off against a Behemoth. I can face off against a single Behemoth alone, but we saw last week 2 Behemoths was 1 Behemoth too many, especially with a sort of non-preemptive strike. The preemptive strikes are quite useful, and the fact that they were fighting one another, they both start with half a health bar. Now, admittedly, I would have preferred if the Behemoth King had not actually managed to transform. You may have missed it, but once he gets to a certain point, he can activate a maneuver where he rips the horn from his head and it becomes a giant sword, and he goes bipedal and he gets all his health back, which is a nuisance, to say the least. Unfortunately, on this occasion, he actually got it in. If you can kill them quickly, which is more difficult than it sounds, if you can kill them quickly, you can get away with it, but unfortunately, not always. Oh, 17. Well, it's not in order, but I can probably still do it. A Pulsework champion that had been working the Mahabra Subterra has gone haywire and is now raising chaos on the steppes northern high plain. It is my focus to see the automaton deactivated, a duty which I take not only at the Fauci's behest, but for my husband, whom the accursed machine butchered. By all that is sacred, I will not rest until I have torn it washer from bolt. Yes, I will tear it down and make a washing machine out of its bolts and washers. That's right, indeed. Right, where is it? I suppose let's give a short detail. Oh, it's nicely in the middle. Oh, that's not too bad, I suppose. But it does... Oh, no, there's one there, but I'm wondering if that's Chocobo. The Chocobo. Now, see, that is in the middle of nowhere, which is peculiar. Plus, we do still have that area I've not explored. I do want to go in there at some point in the not too distant future either, but I suppose... Yeah, I think the best bet at the moment is probably... Oh, there's a shiny one there as well. Okay. Oh, one there. Oh, yeah, but that was 52. We don't have to care about that one. The shiny there, probably. Oh. Anyway, let's just pop round the corner again and deal with this fella. Do-do-do. Do-do. Ba-da-da-da. I will save it since it's right in front of my face. I might as well. Must do some more weapons upgrading as well. Because I've still got their base forms, and I should probably by now. I almost feel like I ought to have an upgraded version of each of the weapons by this point in time. But yeah, I won't go through it again specifically, but we have been through the fact that they are. Yeah, I'm relatively certain. Well, that is a babyish one. Big boy's not happy that I'm there, though. I don't think I can just grab this treasure chest. No. If you are in an enemy perimeter, you can't just grab a treasure chest. But I'm not exactly confident. Although, as I say, that is sort of a baby one. Still not hugely confident I can beat that at this point in time, though. Right, where are we going? Roughly, amazingly, I managed to go facing the right direction. Gorgonospids we'll just take down for a bit of cheap crystal point. It's what you can do as you're crossing the plains repeatedly. I don't know, maybe there is. I said there wasn't an efficient way of doing it. Maybe there is an efficient way of doing it. It's just not as obvious as you would perhaps like. Because as you see, like, I think I went from number 13... and then the closest next point has dropped to number 16. Which kind of means they haven't put them in 100% sort of order of numbers. So they are a bit all over the place, which, I mean, doesn't make too much difference. But it does, you know, as specified, it's kind of... So I think I started from round about there, didn't I? So I went about there on the map, then I had to hoof it all the way over here and all the way down somewhere there, and now I've had to hoof it all the way back to the centre of the field and then I'm going to have to hoof it all the way round and down, although having said that I can't actually physically reach that one at the moment, so that's fine. I can reach that one, but it's so just sort of all over the place. It really is. There's no other... Oh shit, is this a... Oh no, there it is. I was going to say it was an automaton, wasn't it? Not the little big fella there. Got him. Don't know if it's going to count because I'm not. It did this time. Marvellous. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But we should be able to get ahead of the game there. Good. Now it's broken. This isn't the most efficient use of my time, but getting that stagger is more important. And now let's get in there for some smashings. Quite an interesting little design, this fella. I mean, basically the same sort of fundamental idea of the Clockwork Soldiers, just with some extra gubbins attached to it. But, you know, it's the extra gubbins that make you unique. Deep and philosophical, that one. Yes. Come on, just keep twatting away. Oh, that was a chunky amount of damage. I assume that was lightning. Oh, possibly, yeah, because... Oh, no, it's now immune to everything. Although, I think that changes once you crack it open. Because, yeah, this enemy, of course, is quite interesting. It's super hard whilst it's in its current form. You can see on the listing, immune, resistant. But once you get the stagger, which is not too difficult on these guys, they open up. So their stagger form is completely different. I don't think we've seen an enemy like that so far today. I've obviously seen them several times, I know the game. But if you've never played it before, you've only seen the enemies we've seen throughout this point in time. So it is a slightly different way of working the enemies. And quite nice. Quite a nice way of sort of integrating the enemy. Oh dear, that's not looking healthy, is it? Come on, Hope. Otherwise, Hope will be lost, and we don't want that. Do-do-do-do. Come on, guys, you can do this. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's the bad news. Oh, I think I may have just lost. No, we're okay. So, at the moment, you are now seeing me in Sentinel mode. Now, this is dangerous, because I'm the lead character. One of the biggest weaknesses of the game, I will just clarify, one of the biggest weaknesses of this game is the simple fact that it is... main character goes down, game over. I've never particularly liked that method. It's prevalent in Japanese RPGs. But, yeah, it's unfortunate, but a fact. Which makes being the Sentinel, who is drawing all the damage, a little bit risky. Oh, that's a shit star. Or a really good star, because it's weirdly coloured. Don't understand why it's weirdly coloured. I think it is just a shit star, though. I don't think that's some kind of superstar, because you exceeded all expectations. It's just one star, yeah. Perfect conductors, though, marvellous. They will... That's who made the theme song, The Perfect Conductors. That's not what it means. No, it's not. It's for your weapons. Right, turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Rest. And I need it more than ever. And I need you more than ever. Right, so we're going to avoid the big chunky fella, because the big chunky fella will stomp on me, and amazingly, that big chunky fella stomping on you, not a good time. Because he will crush you and kill you, and that's not what you want. Right, another greenie, which means it's probably in the right sort of idea. Yes, Defender of the Flock, number 14. I believe it's actually technically our next number, in line with the ones we've done. A Sahagin infestation threatens the steppe chocobos who roost at the font of Namba. Those gentle souls I've known since I was a child. The great and merciful Foul Sea heard my plea and granted me the power to save them. I may never again be able to feel the warmth of their golden down, but I can think of no happier way to spend eternity than watching over them from the water's edge. Yes, I will take on this mission. Where will it take me? I get the impression that might be the new area that I unlocked. No guarantees. Where's the star? Oh no, I think you'll find it is. Right, where else do we want to go? Sort of head forwards. Got a feeling we can sort of... that might be a bit too high to be skipping all over, but we'll go through the goblins. Might as well. Goblins by themselves are not too troublesome. But yes, we did establish last week that goblins are weird. I mean, look at them. Sort of round fists, giant open maws, and sort of fucking jeggings, I think. Jeggings with a fly, which is a peculiar fashion choice in the real world, let alone in a goblin. What goblin fancies jeggings? I suppose arguably, maybe they're just skinny jeans rather than jeggings. Because they do feature the full belt and fly, despite the obvious fact that they don't actually have a reason to have trousers. But I say that, I suppose arguably we've never seen them without the trousers. Maybe they do have a reason to have trousers on. It's just basically the same thing over and over again. Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate, but hey, that's what you do in a game where you have to beat the monsters up. You then beat all of the monsters you beat. Beat them up now. Yes, you do. Repeatedly. Beat them down here. Here. I don't often see Hope using the boomerang that much. Because, oops, wrong one. Primarily because I usually use him as a Ravager, because that's what he excels at. I don't think I rarely, if ever, use him as a Commando, because it's just silly. It's just silliness trying to turn the boy into a Commando. You'd just be wasting a lot of crystal points, I think, and mostly wasting your time. So I think we can probably go round this area. Yeah, can't. We'll go round. Round, deeper and round. Because technically we are going sort of down a hill, so we are getting deeper. I believe that's a spent treasure chest, isn't it? Yes, it is. Marvellous. Don't have to care about that thing. My God, he does seem close, doesn't he? He does seem close. I still think he is relatively far away, although that might just be... He does look like he's glitching through the terrain more so than anything else there. I don't think... Oh, hello. Oh, no. He's very close. I don't think he's supposed to be this close, in fairness. You know, he's glitching right the way through the terrain, isn't he? No, I don't think he's supposed to be that close. I think he's just glitched his way through the terrain. But I suppose someone that big, you're not going to say no to him, are you? Fucking hell. He comes along clipping through your terrain, you're not going to go, no, could you not do that? Because you're going to get stomped on. And that'll be a bad... Oh, wow. That was instantaneous victory. And that is the power of Blitz when they're all grouped together. The power of absolute slaughter. I told you Gorgonopsids weren't going to put up much of a fight, didn't I? And I was very much correct. They might pop a bit more fight now because they've not been preemptively struck, but nonetheless, I'm still going to be able to get some blizzards on. Get your blizzard on. Annoyingly, that virulent breath can attack more than one person. And poison, yeah, poison is sort of an odd one. It's not too bad at the moment. It's kind of like, with our health bars relatively high, that constant ticking of poison is sort of like, meh. But the problem is, you can quite easily have your health bars overwhelmed by general attacks, which means when you've got that constant ticking and then your health bar's overwhelmed, you could find yourself in trouble. I'm going to avoid these giant slimes again because, well, theoretically at least anyway. No guarantees I'll actually manage to avoid them, but yeah, there you go. The only reason I'm avoiding them is they're a bit of a slow... I could win the fight, but it's going to take a good sort of 5-10 minutes worth of just battering away at their sort of oozy bodies. And nobody really needs that in their life. Oh, unfortunately. This one, although it is on its own, yeah, it's on its own, so I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to go straight through it. On their own, they're not too bad, but two of them, they're just going to cause issues. They are called diaflans, if you're interested. They are oozy-bodied creatures. I think they do resist physical. Yeah, standard fare, really. They also only have very specific weakness to elements, which is fire. They are immune to water. My pudding. is immune to water. Because I wrapped it in cling film. I wrapped it in the cling film and then I put it in a pan. And then I let it boil for a little bit and it came out as a flan. That's not how you cook flan. I think you can cook things like that, but it's not how you cook flan. Only 3 stars, never mind. You don't seem particularly bothered by your lack of greatness in the star count. No, you know. I don't know I don't know the exact figures. I'm assuming you do get a little bit more CP out of a high star battle, but I'll still be getting some. And the amount of battles I'm doing, you know, the CP stacks quite happily because I'm reckoning we're probably around about 30 grand maybe. Wasn't expecting it to take away control. Oh, he's sniffing. Yeah, we've found the chocobos. Here we go. I think there is a sort of... There's not an unreasonable chocobo theme in this game, but it's nowhere near as good as Final Fantasy 13-2. But don't get lost. It's got a little bit of jazz, isn't it, to it? Do 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 do. They are a subtly different shade. Don't know specifically why, but they are. No way. He lives in your hair. It's comfy. Don't you dare get rid of the chocobo chick. See, that teaches you. You're the nest. It's fine. He's willing to wait. He's comfy.
Hey, you watching me or something? Say something. Or something.
Didn't want to interrupt. And, you know, I didn't quite know where to begin.
You don't have to begin anywhere. What happened to Dodge wasn't your fault.
But, Saz...
You got more than enough weight in your shoulders already. It was my fault that you're a day, letting Dodge out of my sight like that. That one's on me.
And you're just gonna deal with that on your own. Is that it?
I don't have to. I got this guy. And you got Vanille. You weren't alone. That kept you going, didn't it? Listen to me, trying to act all parroty.
Well, don't give up. You'll get in the hang of it. Really.
But the basic tune structure there is pretty much the chocobo theme, which has been sort of throughout the entirety of the Final Fantasy games. That sort of basic do 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 do.
Looks like somebody needs a hand.
Is this the one with the lyrics in it as well? Because I can't deny it is a bit... It's a little bit poppy, but nonetheless it is quite... This is an oddly compelling tune. Sir Huggins... Whoa. Okay, Sir Huggins we definitely need to Libra. Ceratosaurs we probably don't need to, because I'm fairly certain we've already faced Ceratosaurs. Yes. Let's get rid of the Ceratosaurs first, because I'm fairly certain they're not going to be too much trouble. Well, that is difficult to say that with absolute certainty, because we are... Oh, we just lost hope. Cool. Good. Do you know what? Fuck Renew, I'm going to use fucking Bahamut. Come forth. And get owned by a giant fuck-off dragon. So at this point, I do wish I'd been Vanille as the character, because then I could have summoned heck of a TikTok you've got there, which is obviously, as we know, that is definitely his actual name. But yeah, Bahamut should be able to kick the shit out of a couple of these things. Although the Sahuggins, I think, were doing a lot of damage. An alarming volume of damage, in fairness. But now I've got Bahamut on the scene. Oh, the Ultra Vice. That's Vice from Skies of Arcadia if he was really, really amped up on something. Oh, here we go. Yes, they do have the lyrics in the background. Something, 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 if you love the sky. I don't know if that's the lyrics or not, but it's super fucking cutesy. Like the level of cute that actually sort of induces vomiting. But let's go jet mode now, because it's almost dead, and you know, I don't want to lose out on using jet mode. It's fun. Become my jet and my chair. And generally, giant fuck off wings. Why do they have to be fuck off wings? Because, you know, middle finger is slightly longer than the other ones. No, I don't think that is. I don't think that's true at all. Auto Gestalt was not technically what I wanted. Hunting dive. There we go. Yes. Aerial loop. Whee! Obliterating breath. Go on. Yosh! And pulsar burst. Pow, 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 pow. Face my pulsars. Yeah, face it. Hunting dive. Woo! Obliterating breath once again. Pew! Firing the pulsars. Firing the pulsars. Firing the pulsars. And now finally, our last option. The mighty Mega Flare. Pew! Like a tiny, tiny thing and then turns into a giant thing. It's like a penis. Oh, we won. I do. Oh, no stars though, blimey. Never mind. Oh, well, a moistened scale. Who enjoys a moistened scale? Oh, your party has earned the rank of Feathered Friend. And we've got Gazal Reigns. That is possibly what's going to allow us to ride a chocobo. Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, here we go. These majestic yellow birds allow you to cover greater distances than you could on foot in only a fraction of the time. There are also locations that only chocobos can reach, indicated by swirling yellow indicators on the ground. To mount a chocobo, approach it and press A. Chocobos are courageous creatures, but even they have their limits. Come into contact with an enemy while riding, and the chocobo will lose 1 unit of morale. Should a chocobo lose all of its morale, it will throw its rider and flee. Otherwise, lost morale will gradually return, so long as no more close encounters occur. Chocobos also possess an uncanny knack for detecting buried treasure. When you pass near hidden treasure while riding a chocobo, an icon will appear above the bird's head. The closer you come to the treasure, the faster this icon will bounce. Once you have discerned the treasure's location, press A to dig it up. Cool. I gets to ride a chocobo. First, we'll deal with this treasure chest, because that's important to me. A supposed species. I don't exactly know what they were, but fuck them. They're going to be useful, I'm sure, at some point. So yeah, it's actually quite nice having done this sort of extra area, because of course this is a lovely, pleasant sort of bonus scene, bonus cutscene, a couple of bonus fights, and chocobos. And who doesn't like a chocobo? Nobody. Everybody loves chocobos. They're chocobos, for fuck's sake. You can't ever dislike a chocobo. They're the best thing ever. Oh yeah, the best thing ever. That is right. Come on, let's slice. I must admit, I thought the Orobon... Have we dealt with Orobons before? Yeah. I thought the Orobons and the Sahuggins were together. But apparently, no. They are very much a separate pair of forces. Although that is a lot of Sahuggins. We had trouble with Sahuggins last time. And, yeah. Could have trouble with Sahuggins. This is a lot of Sahuggins. Granted, we should be able to wipe one out fairly easily, owing to the fact that we got the back attack, but still concerning. Still significantly concerning, because it's quite a large volume, and I have been slowed, and I don't like that. I don't need it in my life. Come on. Oh, there we go. We've managed to wipe out a good 3. Which is quite impressive, actually. If I do say so myself, and I do, I have to. I have to say it myself. There's nobody else here. I could say it in a voice to make it seem like someone else was here. Yeah, you did bloody good job there. In fact, you did a ranged job. Defeating 3 Sahagins immediately. That was bloody good stuff. Ba 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 ba. It was easy. Yes, it was very easy. I'm thinking about switching up my party, because we've been this party for a little while. So what I might do is I'll defeat the last of the enemies inside this area, and then just prior to hopping a Pont Chocobo, I will perhaps... Oh, no, go away. Turn around so I can take advantage. Go on, yeah, you back the fuck off. You know who the boss of this relationship is. It's Fang. Told ya. You can manipulate the enemy sometimes into doing stupid things like giving you the preemptive strike. But sometimes, against enemies that are quite hard, that's entirely necessary and tactical. So, you know, I'm doing a tactic. And I don't really understand them. So, you know it must be a good tactic if I've decided to do it. But 5 attacks, go, kill it, marvellous. Beautiful forward flip in midair there. Slicing away at the beastie. A sea petal scale, that's what they were. I don't think there's any other treasure chests around here, so it's sort of feeling oddly pointless defeating all of these enemies, but... Oops, so... Hey! You got a bit above your station there, didn't you, mate? Thought you could come out of your area. But you can't. Get back in your area. Oh. He thought again. He thought he could catch me. But I'm a little bit quicker than him. Come on, yeah, you back away in shame. You back away in shame. Now I need all of you to turn around. All of you to turn around. All of you to... There we go. Yeah, you look cocksucker. Fine, I'll take you on like this. I must admit, their heads, I don't think you can necessarily see it, but their heads, weirdly, in this picture, no, not really. In the 3D models, the heads do have a weird reminiscence to the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Don't necessarily think that's intentional, and I think that might just be me who sees that, but nonetheless, I very much do see just a tiny little bit of sort of Blue Eyes White Dragon in the shaping of the head dome area. That sort of smooth headpiece they've got on. Need some health up in this house. Oh, lightning's dead. Cool. Weird. They can pack a serious punch. If left out of control, they pack some nasty pecking manoeuvres here. Ah, good. Hope you do have rays. That's handy. Because I didn't really want to have to use another 2 TP to revive everybody with Renew, but as the boy does know the spell to bring them back from the dead, that's quite beneficial. That's the one advantage, I think, of possibly being... Although, having said that, arguably, if the lead character is low on health, the lead character needs to come first, even if everybody else is dead. Which is always... Yeah, we discussed that, I think, the first week. It's always a bit of a shocking display of selfishness. You know, oh, you're an ally, you're dead. I could revive you, but let's be honest, the game is over if the leader dies, so leader comes first at all times. We can probably get away with going back to Relentless Assault. We haven't got any desperate need for health at the moment, because all our health bars are maximum. Have you got a mother, and is she called Maxie? Then if the answer's yes, she is in fact maximum. That's a shame we couldn't quite finish it, but never mind. Oh, 3 stars again. Seems I'm destined to only ever have 3 stars. And I'm destined to just keep picking up moist scales. Would you like to see my moist scales? No, I'd really rather not see your moist scales. Right. Yeah, we'll take on the last pair. Take on the last pair, go to the save point. I might check out the Crystarium, because at this point I'm thinking maybe sort of... I mean, conservative estimate, I'm thinking maybe about 50 grand's worth. Which should help me out. A tolerable amount. I mean, it's not going to necessarily cause miracles to my stats, but it's nonetheless going to help to some degree. But I have been sort of picking up a couple of grand's worth per battle, and we have done a reasonably high volume of battles. No, nothing. Oh, camera. You really didn't want to work with me there, did you? Right. Superb. Right, now, let's get in here. Oh, we got 77 grand's worth of Crystarium points. I mean, I was hoping it was more than the 50 grand I quoted, but as I say, it was a sort of conservative estimate, and I'm quite pleased to discover it was inaccurate by about 20 grand's worth. Right, for anybody who's not seen this before, you basically just, you fill in, you've got these little orb nodes, and then you've got the lines between each of the nodes. If they are white, that means you've done them. If they are black, that means you haven't done them. In order to turn black from white, you just add some crystal points, and you go down the line, and whee! And you learn things. So I've learnt Pain. Interesting. Disable target's physical abilities and deal magic damage. Ooh. That is quite a good one. You might actually now be coming in to being a reasonable saboteur. I specified earlier that she wasn't great at sabotage. The fact that she's now getting daze and pain might, you know, might actually help her out somewhat, which is going to be unfortunate because she's probably going to leave the party in not too distant future, which, oh well. Never mind. Never mind. The boy's just learning Ravager stuff, so it's all just sort of standard Blizzardger, Thunderger, Fireger, Waterger. Waterger's not as standard. Usually you get fire, ice and lightning. Water is a sort of bit more of a specialised spell that doesn't always crop up in every single Final Fantasy. Same with Earth. Earth and Water seem to be sort of the ones that are... And Wind, in fairness. Wind in the Willows. Yep, all of that. So yes, you are onto Medic skills. Medic is not a great role for Lightning. She's far more comfortable kicking the shit out of people than healing wounds, but it's worthwhile having. It's worthwhile having stats for starters. It's also, on some occasions, like you saw, I think it was against the big old washing machine robot, wasn't it? He managed to beat me down so much that having 2 medics was actually beneficial. Don't always have a... I don't always have 2 medics available, but when I do, it can sometimes be quite useful. So what are we looking at? Ravager... Yeah, both Ravager and his Commando need work. Probably Ravager's the better one to go for first, I would think. Especially since he's just got his accessory slot. That's nice. Accessory slots, for those wondering, basically it's extra equipment for them. And extra equipment is always useful. Right, now what we want to do is go back out and we can do a little pop into Commando. Just got a few more extras. And once we've dealt with Commando, we might actually get to move into another branch, which will mean they actually get more of other people's roles. There are 6, if you were wondering, again, I'll go through it quickly. There are 6 fundamental roles the characters can take. Commando focuses on physical strength and attacking. Ravager focuses on magical strength and magically attacking with elements. Sentinel, defense. The Sentinel focuses on sort of Mediguard, will heal you whilst defending. Entrench will sort of do a counter-attack after defending. And there's all sorts of other variants on being able to attack and defend, but primarily it's, you know, everybody attack me, please. I'm tougher than tough. Saboteur, I mentioned earlier, it focuses on debilitating the enemies. Synergist is based on promoting strengths and buffs to allies, and medic, probably self-explanatory, it focuses on healing the party. So I think you're working on Ravager, because you've worked on everything else. And each character does have roles they favour based on what they sort of were given at the beginning of the game, really. So Vanille, having quite such a high magical strength, she's quite good at Ravager and Medic, because that relies on magical strength. And she was the first, fairly certain she was the first Saboteur we got, which is why she's quite so good at Sabotage. Zaz, again, he's fairly magic based, which makes him a very good Ravager and a very good Synergist, because again, he was one of the first Synergists we had, so he's got all the best Synergist manoeuvres. Right now, back at the beginning of the game, this wasn't a thing. You got, predefined roles that were suited to the characters. At this stage of the game, I can put them into any role I wish to put them in, as long as I've unlocked it. So basically here, you can see if I spared some CP, I could put Zaz as a Sentinel, a Saboteur, or a Medic. I don't want to. I'm focusing on their primary roles, which is why, at the moment, if we can get into the screen that I'm after, which we apparently can't, it's fine, there we go, which you can see you've got the spread across the board. Top line, Fang, Lightning, Snow are all commandos. Same as Zaz has got that as well. Then you've got 4 Ravagers available: Hope, Lightning, Snow, Vanille, Zaz. That's 5. Way to do the counting. Way to do the counting. Only 2 Sentinels, because the specialist ones, basically Commando and Ravager are, pretty much standard fare in terms of their doings. They're your primary roles, and then you've got slightly more specialist roles. So you've only got 2 Sentinels, 2 Saboteurs, 2 Synergists, and 3 Medics. So they've been a bit generous with the Medics, but as I say, Lightning's not an incredibly good Medic. I think it was just based on the fact that she was the only Medic available at one stage of the game. So they kind of probably felt they had to give you something to work with. Water Charm, we've already decided that was garbage. Physical and magical resistance, not a bad idea. Brawler's up wristband, not going to be that helpful for you. No, I think we'll give you the Royal Armlet, make you a little bit tougher. Lightning, however, Brawler's wristband, a very good idea. Yes, super strength Lightning. You inevitably probably want some kind of... What's the soul front? Oh, casts shell. Yeah, fair enough. Sparkbane even? Sparkbane, Batman. I'm the bane of your sparks. Occasionally absorbs ice. Meh. Tolerable. Very tolerable. Increases all elemental resistances. Well, he is the defense specialist, so that does make some degree of sense. If you've got some kind of... If I've got a spare sort of magic one, wouldn't necessarily go amiss. Faith. It's not the faith that annoys me, it's the SOS part. So it gets... Oh, actually, it's not called SOS in this one. I think that's Final Fantasy X lingo I'm using there, but this is critical faith, but it only functions when HP is low. So it gives you faith when your HP hits a certain amount, which is not... It's not intolerable, but it is a bit sort of like meh. Like whatever. Critical Tetra defense again. It's like it's the critical part that just makes it a bit meh. You just don't. If it's gotten to the state where you find yourself sort of desperately needing this idea of, oh no, panic. I need the shell. I need the whatever. You've already probably fucked it too far. Magician's Mark. I mean, it's quite low, but it might be worthwhile popping that on him, because that'll just buff his magic even more, and as specified, he is pretty good at the old magics. Anybody else? No, I think we've wrapped round. Yeah, we've definitely wrapped round to there. Well, let's check what is the new stuff here. Probably just those tail end bits that I'm not interested in. Yeah, the Royal Armlet. Well, having said that, I did actually do the Royal Armlet. Let's sort those as soon as we can. I think I've managed to miss an... I don't know, maybe they're not going to come off until later. Gizzard Rains, we're just going to sort all of those. That should get rid of the exclamation mark. Marvellous, I always like that. Right, no, next step, we're going to change our battle team. Now, who... I think what we'll do, just in case I do end up summoning, we will have Vanille as the leader. I do feel like we're going to just literally swap, because that does just... Yeah, it replaces everything I need. It's not the world's greatest of things. I'm going to sort of constantly be kind of just changing each team round for the other 3 members who aren't in it, but it does to a certain extent make sense. Right, here we do want that, but we want Ravager there, I think. Although, yeah, Zaz in commando duty is not too bad. Here, let's get Bully going, because Bully's quite useful. But we'll put Bully there. What did we have? Heal. Other variations we got? I mean, possibly something to do with Sentinel there. Delta attack, maybe, yeah. Probably another one with Medic, perhaps. Synergy and Medic maybe wouldn't go amiss. Oh no, I think I know what that should be. That should be Medic, shouldn't it? Yeah, Solidarity. That's making a degree of sense. Because that's if all hell breaks loose and you desperately need defense and Medic. Maybe another Saboteur one? Yeah, probably worthwhile. And then maybe have you... I don't know, but there you go. I can't deny it, it does get slightly difficult. That's Bully again, so I don't really need Bully a second time. I suppose maybe put in Ruthless, maybe, yeah. It'll do for now until I've got a better idea. Most of the time with these paradigms, it's quite nice having the option of having 6, but once you get Relentless Assault, Diversity, and Bully, to a certain extent, Solidarity is not a terrible idea, but really, it's the first 4 here that are going to be your primary choices, I think. As I say, it's nice to have some of the other options available to you, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just need it to be, you know, what you've, you know, the strongest things they can be. Right, so I think we need to go wrapping round. Oh great, the enemies have respawned. Well, I'm not going to fight them again, so I'm not going to just do it a second time immediately, I'm afraid. So I think what we need to do is, yeah, I think it's this fella here who's going to be our actual mount. Yes, he has his little feather symbol, and here we go. Do 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 do. I feel like there's a. It does feel like there's supposed to be a thing here, because there's definitely like a. There's a weird and annoying marker there. I don't understand. Object of interest. But what is that object of interest? Oh, it's the Chocobo chick. Right, I don't know precisely why I care. Which is interesting. What do I... I mean, it's an object of interest, but I don't have any real significant interest in it. I'll just watch what it's doing for a moment or two, but if I can't figure out precisely what I need to do with regards to it, I might need to dismount, which probably resets the bloody Chocobo, which wouldn't surprise me. It certainly wandered off. Whether it stays close to me or not, I don't know. No, I think it's wandered off completely, so chick, chick, chick. I mean, in fairness, I don't think it actually gets close enough to interact with. I think we'll leave it and hope that it turns out that that is a meaningless extra that I don't need to give two hoots about. Away we go. Oh, no, never mind. Away we go around the pond. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. So we now have a fair amount of extra options when it comes to moving around the map. Although I'm fairly certain it's still... It is quite the sort of smooth jazz. Smooth jazz chocobos are here. That's right. Oh, you heard it first. The smooth jazz is here. The chocobos will blow your mind. That's right. Oh, yeah. Chocobos. Everybody loves chocobos. How could you not love your fine feathered friend? The fine feathered friend that is a chocobo. I got a feeling there was a chocobo one over here, wasn't there? Yes. There we go. I've got to try and remember where all these bloody chocobo lifts are now. So I think the treasure is going to be up here. Dig! Come on, dig. Diggy, diggy, diggy. Oh, is there a treasure? There's a treasure. What is that treasure? Oh, he's happy. A gold nugget. Nice. Is there a monster? Oh, I mean, there's a couple of monsters down there, but I don't think they're actually of any real significance to me. Is there anything else around here at this point? Nope, not there. But there was another... There you go, there's a treasure just in the middle of the pond. Because there's another chocobo marker here. Yes, indeed. Can we open the treasure? Yes, we can. Nar stones. It's what you like to see. You like to see. Nah. It's a very confusing stone because you go, nah. You sort of like it and then you realise, nah, I didn't like it. Oh, there looks to be a potential chocobo track there. Well, let's go. Doodle doo 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 doo. You do wonder who chained the big beasties up. I'm assuming, you know, back when... I don't think I ever specify in the game itself, although they might do in the sort of Monsterpedia type thing. But you got to assume they used to be like giant beasts of burden for the foul sea, perhaps. And that's why they have a remnant of a chain upon their person. Well, I say person. Person's being a bit generous, isn't it? Let's wrap round and get past the shimmering fellas. Ah, here we go. I did wonder. Hey, that's what we like to see. A treasure chest indeed. Diabolic towels. It's the evil version of miles per hour. Do. That's the real name of Tails from Sonic, if you were unaware. I don't know if there's anybody left who's unaware of that fact, but nonetheless, that is the case. And it's quite clever. Took me a while to realise, so, you know, you might not have, but then again, you might have realised it years and years ago. Miles, his name is Miles per hour, as in miles per hour. It's quite a clever little name, or at least I think it is. You might think it's a bit shit, but that's entirely your prerogative if you choose to think of it as a little shit. But there you go. Oh, this I think is another bonus area. Because these are like the chickeny things. Although I haven't said that. No, they're not chickeny things. I don't know what they are, but they are weird. And they're gonna get in my way, oh yeah. A platinum bangle. That'll come in handy at some point. There's supposed to be a treasure here. But this bastard thing won't find it. It does appear to be bouncing a little bit faster now we've gone around this side. Oh, examine the poofy sheep. Oh, hello. What's the poofy sheep got to do with it? Got to do with it. Oh. What are you doing? Why are you pulling things? It doesn't look happy with you. I mean, he doesn't look... Seems a little unfair. This is why blades were invented, Vanille. So that you don't have to rip a poor sheep's fur out. I obtain a tuft of fluffy wool, and we do not know why.
I think these guys look like sheared.
Probably horrendous. You wish you were part of a flock. Zaz, sometimes Zaz, you say the stupidest of things. Right, while we're no longer on the chocobo, what we might as well do is probably take those down. Whatever the fuck they are. I don't know specifically. Oh, there's a hole. There's also, I've just found there's an enemy that's about to rock up in front of me, because, yeah, flipping bush monster. I managed to hit the bat button the moment the Triffid arrived. Do. Whoa there. Oh, that's his blitz maneuver, isn't it? Yeah, nice. You know, I must admit, I might swap Zaz to Ravager and Snow to Commando, maybe. Truth be told, I don't think it makes that much difference. Because they're both, ideally, they're both sort of more magical users, but 3 Ravagers is not what you want. For those wondering, I've discussed this before, so I apologise to anybody who's been around in the past, but basically with the stagger meter, the Ravager's magical spells boost the stagger meter quite high, whereas the Commando boosts it very tiny amounts. However, the other side of it is Ravagers, they boost it high, but it drops very fast. Whereas Commandos, they boost it a tiny amount, but it drops very slow once they've shot or hit. In Zaz's case, it's shot. So you don't really want 3 Ravagers, because the stagger meter will go up extremely fast, but then drop like a stone. It's why you need the balance. And as I say, well, I think we've had Zaz be the Commando a few times before. So what we'll do is we will have Snow as the Commando. And we'll keep Snow as the Commando throughout most of these. Yeah. It all seems reasonable. That's fine. Now, let's see. Can we sneak up behind? Oh, we can't, because it's taken away operational control from me. I'm unsure why. But yeah, they are some kind of... I wonder, they might end up being like Mandragoras. They do often use sort of... Oh! Oh, I don't want to. Do you know what? I'm fine. I'm fine now. I wanted to pick on the little ones, which I suppose was the point, wasn't it? Very clever game. Very well played. The game went, you're going to want to pick on the little ones, aren't you? I'm going to throw a big one in your face instead. Do you know... You keep saying that, we're going to have a go nonetheless. But also, I'd like to point out, Zaz, mid-30s, tops. Despite all his old age. Follow the old man's lead. And I'm too old for this shit. Mid-30s. Mid-30s. Oh my god, they're called micro-chews. Tiny little micro-chews, look at them. Oh, so I'm assuming the big fella's going to be the Otchu. Oh, that's painful. Could you not do that to me? I need some curing up in this house, please, Vanille. I realise I am Vanille, which makes the life really difficult. Oh, wow, okay. Pollinated. Jesus, okay. I think we might be fucked. So, yeah, you've got Micro-Chews and then Otchu, yeah. I wouldn't necessarily have been able to recognise it because it's another one where they've really kind of adjusted and adapted the design for this 13th one. Oh, there we go. Okay, that was basically half my health bar done in one go. So no, turns out the Otchu. Fuck you. We're not going to be doing the Otchu. Luckily, as we've seen in the past, death is not too tragic when it comes down to this game, because you just go back to the beginning of the fight and you can leave on a jet plane unsure precisely when you're going to be back again. Right, get back on my chocobo. And oh yeah, we're looking for treasure. Previously on Chocobo Adventures, we were looking for treasures. Keep meaning to try and get round to playing the old Chocobo dungeon. Still haven't managed to. Yeah, it's definitely more over this way. Dig! Marvellous. Diggy, diggy, diggy. Diggy, diggy, diggy time. Diggy, baby, dig, dig, dig. What's in the hole this time? Oh, it's shiny again. Is it another gold nugget? A nugget of rhodochrosite. That's useful in crafting weapons or rejigger. Oh, fuck! That enemy's back again. Oh, well, never mind. Luckily, I've got enough morale meter to not care too much. Plus, I could always traverse this area, you know, without the chocobo potentially. Although, having said that, I think this is about to be a chocobo jump. Nope, that would have been a normal standard jump. Goblins. I mean, I don't really care to necessarily fight the goblins, because we'll have plenty of goblins to fight later. We'll just carry on. Carry on going down this path. Oh, look, this is a brand new area. Holy shit. I didn't necessarily expect to find this area. Ah, there is a blockage. Now, I do wonder how high up is the blockage quest, because if it's around the sort of 20 to 25 mark, we'll be okay. 30, okay, that's a bit more questionable, but we don't actually have a quest at the moment, so we might as well try it, I suppose. Syphax, the insidious one. Yes, the undying, fearsome Seath who defy Halsey will, driven by an intense loathing of all that lives. Syphax, the insidious, is of their number, a number I am tasked with bringing low. My mark dwells in the abandoned dig, Seath lair deep within the bowels of Mahabra. He's a treacherous foe, to be sure, laddie. But one I must overcome if I am to see my crystallized beloved again. Go on, we'll take it on, but whether I actually manage to complete it or not is another question entirely. Unfortunately, it does mean we are sort of... Now, was there a boost for chocobos? No, apparently not. I thought you could sort of get them to rush, but I might be thinking of a different variation of game. One of the other Final Fantasies, where you perhaps had the boosting chocobos. But you'd probably have to sacrifice a piece of morale if you did get it to boost, bare minimum. So you'd be running the risk, or running a risk, I suppose. Right, now we know there's a Triffid in the bush. What am I going to do? There's a Triffid in my bush. What am I going to do? I'm going to kill the Triffid in the bush, because, well, a Triffid in the bush is definitely not worth two in the hand. You don't really need to see Triffids in your bush. It's disturbing and medically inadvisable. Diddle-doo, 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 diddle-doo. I am a chocobo and I like things, mostly Gizal greens, but there are other variations of green that I quite enjoy. Yes, I do, I am a chocobo and I've, oh, fucked it. It's fine, it is fucking fine. It doesn't matter, no, it don't matter now, it didn't matter then. Well, let's go. Oh, I've got my hairy feather back. Do you have a hairy feather? No, I don't actually have a hairy feather. A hairy feather is an odd thing that you're unlikely to find, mostly because you tend to have feathers, or you have hair. You don't have hairy feathers, unless maybe your name was Hairy Feathers, yeah. Is your name Hairy Feathers? No. I don't think anyone's called Hairy Feathers. Ding dingly ding ding ding. Well, apparently this was a chocobo area that didn't actually have any reason to exist. So you can leap over that gap with the chocobo, which is quite nice. Oh, also there's apparently a treasure. Are we heading in the right direction for the treasure? Yes, we are. Is that sort of... Can we go oppy? Any further oppy? No, there's no further oppy, so that was pointless, see? Is that bouncing more or less? Whereabouts is this treasure, do I think? I don't know why I'm asking you, I don't think you know. Oh, hello, no, the treasure disappeared. Enjoy my trumpet. You must enjoy my trumpet. It's an incredible trumpet. All the boys in the yard, they're jealous of my trumpet, oh yeah. Oh no, I will find that treasure, oh yeah. Not sure where, but somehow, surely I can find the treasure. I feel like it's up on this ridge, but it definitely wasn't up on this ridge. Now I'm beginning to feel like Alex Horn in the find the task. It wasn't find a task. Aubergines. I don't think it's in this area, but I haven't left this area either. It's surprisingly difficult because, as much as yes, it does bounce, not that obvious when it starts bouncing that much more. Now it's definitely not bouncing more. Arguably, it's relatively obvious. Trying to avoid that thing. It's bouncing a bit more here. Bit more, yeah. Seems to be bouncing quite a lot. Oh, there's a chocobo over there. Hey, Diggy! It's definitely not the other Diggy one we found, I don't think, but nonetheless. Oh, that sounds painful. Quite the, oh no, it's just a standard thing. Just sounded like they were giving it more oomph and emphasis, but yeah, it's just millerite. We don't really need millerite here. So yeah, we're still entirely not privy to why she decided to rip wool out of the sheep, but still. I might be mistaken, maybe I'm supposed to be privy to that information, I just don't remember it. Which is distinctly a plausible scenario. But there you go. My stupidity is endless. Here we go. Let's try and see. Well, what I was supposed to be finding was the enemy, wasn't I? Whereabouts are we looking? Over here, which is interesting. Is that? No, that can't be the chocobo area, can it? Because the chocobo area is dark. Yeah, so the chocobo area is over there. So yeah, I would need to travel all the way down there. But if I don't... what's the number of this one? Let's find out this one's number. If it's less than sort of 30 odd... Oh, that's 50. Oh yeah, that's definitely worthwhile doing this one first. There are other lessee who share my focus. The first to complete it is the winner, with freedom from this lessee fate as his prize. But for all who have tried, none have yet survived. So I guess that will make me the first. No more being a fal'Cie tool for me. Just need to take out that goblin chieftain on the northern high plain near the range of the Bearmoth King. Why did... yeah, that's fine. I'll abandon. See, that's the other... You know, they could have just allowed you to pick up all of the missions at once. Instead of sort of this annoying demand of... No, you must do this mission. Then you do this mission. And you'll learn one mission at a time. No more. So some of the design decisions in Final Fantasy XIII are not great. But, you know, I don't think I've yet to come across a game that has every single design decision to perfection. There's usually at least a couple of bits and bobs where you just go, yeah, this was not a good choice, was it, guys? And gals, I suppose. But, I don't know. Maybe someone else can think of a game where they do genuinely think, you know, this was a perfect game that didn't have any questionable design choices, but I really don't. I don't honestly think they exist. I think a lot of the time developers go, yeah, this is a good idea, and then it's only afterwards where they suddenly realise, oh, it's not that good idea. But certainly this sort of one quest at a time does end up being more of a sort of just pain in the arse than a, you know, necessarily sort of functional, interesting way of, you know, doing things, because it's just like, who gives a shit? Right, oh, there's another treasure chest around here somewhere. Well, another diggable treasure. Not sure if the chocobo is going to run away, but I have to do the fight anyway, so... I think they do stick around and just sort of hover for a moment, at least. Nope. Nope, that chocobo's straight up fucked off. Cool. Good. Goody gumdrops. That's what we like to see. My one speedy way across this terrain. and I am stuck. I am now stuck without it being near me. I'm glad. I'm so glad. Can you not hear the gladness in my voice? I hate you, game. You just make everything so slow. It's a lot of it does feel like, you know, artificially trying to extend the game's length by having you run from pillar to post, and then back to the pillar, and then back to the post, and then they invent a new pillar, and you have to go to pillar B, then you have to go to pillar A, and you have to go to the post again. And then you think you have to go to pillar A, but actually you need to be at the post. So you've ran halfway to pillar A, and then you realise, shit, I need to go back to the post. But there you go. Outside of all of the many things I've said are wrong with the game, I like it, and I do genuinely like it. And I you know, to be honest, truth be told, I can just sit here and enjoy running around this lovely landscape for the most part. It's only really sort of, you know, I get the impression it's just shit for anybody watching, because it's a little bit bland, and combined with the level of blandness that I put out, it is very much sort of like a, God, this is unwatchable. But nonetheless, oh, I really don't want to be, well, I still don't really want the others to be sort of dishing damage out to the Goblin King yet. It's going to be easier to try and, oh, they're not, oh, good. Or at least they, I don't know what they're doing. It's very difficult being the medic, because you kind of feel a bit out of the action. Basically your AI allies, so in this case, Zaz and Snow, my AI allies, will basically target whatever you're targeting, but as the medic, you're targeting allies, which means they're kind of almost left on their own devices. And well, come on, you can't trust these two to do anything on their own, really. Snow's a delusional fellow who thinks he's a hero, and Zaz is a slightly depressed, suicidal fella who's lost his son. He's not so suicidal anymore, in fairness. That was ages ago in the game. He's a little bit over it at the very least. Oh, goblin punches. Come on. Yeah, I think we best just get on with at least a little bit of extra healing there. Ooh, just Curie, Madam Curie, that's what we need you to do. Relentless Assault. Get a little bit more damage onto Goblin B. Can we dispense of Goblin B? Yes, we can. Oh, good. That's kinda the point. Whoa, okay, diversity once again. Gonna take you down to diversity, where we have a Ravager and we have a Medic. Oh, yes, we do in diversity. Have you been to the diversity where the grass is green and the girls are pretty? Babadoo. Have you ever had a babadoo? Yes. It sounds like a Russian disc. A disc. Russian disc. No, not a Russian disc. A Russian dish. A babadoo. Hey, you want babadoo? Come in. I cook you babadoo. I suppose it's because it sounds a bit like, oh dear, get that Cura going immediately, because that will take the edge off of the pain. Get all of those going immediately, because if Vanille dies, I'm in trouble, because that means I'll have to start the fight again, and that's going to be tedious. I can't deny, once you get back on the main story, it does make you appreciate the story more. After having sort of slowed down no end to do all these sort of side bits and pieces. Christ almighty, Vanille, can you just, like, have a bit more health bar in you? And the answer is no, because of course she's the medic. And medics and mages don't tend to have a huge volume of health bars, but nonetheless, I do need you to just work with me a little bit, Vanille. Work with me a little bit. This is why I don't play the medic, because I don't mind it when the AI is just sort of chugging away in the background going, heal, heal, heal. But if I have to chug away in the background doing the heals, it just feels like I'm not I'm not being of use. Despite the fact that obviously she is being of use, she's keeping everybody alive, but it feels a lot less sort of potent. It's interesting how we've faced off, like, I think we've faced Goblin Chieftains in these missions 3 times at least, which is surprising, because I would have thought they'd put in a bit more variety. Just keep, yeah, keep twatting it with magic. I mean, there's not a lot else we can do. Come on, get that stagger going, please, yeah. I need you, stagger baby. I now have staggered a baby. It's not really that difficult to stagger a baby, is it? You know, just lift them up onto their 2 feet, they'll stagger by themselves. They're not quite worked out bipedal motion, have they? So just clip their hands and whoa, it's a staggering baby. Couple £100 on You've Been Framed, you'll probably get for that. Staggering baby. Yeah, fucking too right, mate. Too easy. Too easy, son. Too easy. Fractured and Fiendish Horns. I fractured my Fiendish Horn. Oof, it was nasty. I had to have a splint. Survivalist Catalogue. Oh, that's going to be another version of the Collector's Catalogue, isn't it? So do we have someone with a Collector's Catalogue? I think we do. I think it might be Fang, yeah. So is it going to literally be the same? Increases the odds of obtaining items. Increases the odds of obtaining shrouds. Ooh, nah, that's not hugely useful. Items is much better. Shrouds, if you're interested, are these things. I have discussed them in the past. Fortisol, basically the sort of attack buffs. Bravery, Faith and Haste. Aegisol, basically where you get a really old hull. It's the defensive buffs. Protect, Shell, Veil and Vigilance. Deceptor Soul makes you pretty much invisible. It says difficult for passing enemies to detect. I think it means impossible. You are literally invisible. Although I suppose some enemies perhaps bypass it, which is where the party difficult. And then Ether Soul. It's basically they've named it after the ether because there's no MP in this game, only TP. So they use the Ether Soul to restore TP. I barely ever use them. I just don't. I don't know. I should use more of those shrouds things, but it just usually ends up feeling a bit like, nah, who cares? I sure as shit don't. Right, so I can't get to that one because the entrances are blockaded. Those are the ones I'm not interested in. Those two are done. That one's done. That one's done. So I could go back and get that mission again, which is a slight annoyance. Having to go all the way back there. That one we decided we didn't want to do because it's high end. The only other chocobos, I suppose there was a chocobo. I don't know where the closest chocobo is going to be, which is a bloody nuisance, frankly. Yeah, outside of that, I am going to perhaps have to just run around. Annoyingly, I think that's a chocobo. There's a chocobo jump there. If I know spotted that before I left my chocobo. Oh well, never mind. No, never mind. Not a lot I can do now. Ah, there's a chocobo. Okay, so directly in front of me. I should eventually, there we go, marvellous, it actually has appeared on the screen, which is good news. Allows me to track it down a bit easier, but yes, that'll make life substantially quicker across the plains. Plus we can double back and try and grab that treasure up on the Chocobo Ridge. Let's go, Chocobo Ridge. Right, that's an old one, so I don't have to worry too much about that. But yeah, basically, we having unleashed the chocobos, they do appear in other locations now, so you can get back to raiding a chocobo quite not intolerably slowly. It's a bit unfortunate, you have to go find another one, but it would be much better if they could just, I suppose the reason they do it is because they're emphasising this idea that I wonder if I can sneak in with the treasure chest. No, I suppose no, because the warning still turns up, doesn't it, even on a chocobo? Yeah. If the map is red, you can't open treasure chests. I wasn't 100% sure if I could be cheeky, but it turns out you cannot be cheeky. You cannot be a member of the cheeky girls. No, not by being a man and not being all that cheeky. The two fundamentals you require are being cheeky and being a girl. So if you're neither, then you cannot be a cheeky girl. I received a gold nugget for my trouble. Whoa! Unexpected leap in the bagging area. Oh, I can access that one. Oh, sweet as. Genuinely thought this area was blocked off, don't I? Quite pleasing to discover that clay ring. My guess is Earth Eater, but unfortunately we can't access it, so never mind. Is it even worthwhile going down here? Possibly not, but it does... Oh no, because the treasure is definitely gone. We'll just try and navigate around these guys, see just what's here. Maybe a treasure chest or a treasure that I can dig out. No, that's fine. We'll just hop back onto this ridge. See if we can't find this diggy spot. This diggy spot. It would be nice to check and find. Oh, concerning. It's taken control away from me and we've got a cutscene. Oh, what's this? I don't know. What have you oh no. Just what you don't want to find. It's a cactua. Looking amazingly like felt. Just kind of strange. Don't attack the cactua. Do not attack the cactua. You fucking idiot. We've unleashed cactuas. That could be troublesome. What was that sentence? Mate, you're an idiot. Right, I mean, probably not a good idea to try and take down a cactua. I'm not saying I won't have a go, but if it's simply 1000 needle, my health bars can actually take that. If, however, as I loosely suspect, it is potentially going to be 10,000 needle, my health bars cannot take that, and I will die. Feels like this should be... Oh, there we go. I was going to say, it feels distinctly like I should have found the diggy spot by now, but yeah, I did. Oh, that is very fancy. I mean, I wouldn't have put it that way, but fair enough. A Moogle puppet. Legitimately don't know what a Moogle puppet does. So we will find out. I don't think the Chocobo is going to go far this time because this area you can't get off of. Oh no, I might be wrong. Yep, no, I may legitimately be wrong. I think the Chocobo's disappeared. Cool. Cool. Pretty certain I'm now stuck though now, game. So that's good. But eventually I was going to have to get off the Chocobo, owing to the simple fact that I had to pick up you know, to interact with the thing. But I don't know. Maybe I have screwed up. Anyway, right. Accessories. Oh, are you thinking it's an accessory? No. The clay ring. Oh no, clay ring is just earth resistance. You knew it was going to be earth something, but I thought it was going to be an earth eater based type thing. A toy that says Goopo when its bobble is squeezed can be sold for a premium. I see. I can sell the Moogle puppet. Is it selling the doll? Yeah, selling the Cactua doll as well. But I don't know. Do you really want to? It's a Cactua doll. It's a shame. It's genuinely a shame that they haven't sort of done pictures so that you could sort of zoom in and get more information type scenario, because I'd like to see... I wouldn't mind seeing a Cactua doll and a Moogle puppet. That'd be quite fun. Anyway, in for a penny, in for a probably going to have a pounding. Oh, I see. He's actually going to run away from me. Nope, caught him. How badly is this thing going to kill me? Probably quite badly. Okay, he's doing a cactus dance. I don't know what one of those is going to do. What we got? Fire and earth as weaknesses. A large volume of health. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. He's got 7 levels. He's got 77 chain resistance. Do you think this guy's got a bit of a thing about the number 7? Stagger point is 777%, which is going to be very difficult to get to. He's just kicked me, which is not too bad. As I say, the only real move that I think is going to concern me is if he throws out 10,000 needle. Which, I mean, odds are they're going to lull me into a false sense of security and then go 10,000 needles. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do bullying. We'll do bullying while we're in the sort of easy phase. And you never know. Bullying might manage to just get me sort of... I don't like the way you're doing auto hinder. So if pain works, we'll do a series of pains so that we can really just lay in the pain. I think we need some health, because those kicks are actually doing an alarming amount of damage. For me suggesting he wasn't quite in sort of full shit kicking mode, he's doing a surprisingly large amount of damage with those little kicks. You little prick, let's go, come on, bullying time once more. Techniques. What is he immune to? Oh god, practically fucking everything. D... Yeah, that's D-Protect and D-Faith. Yeah, no, I can't lower his attack. No, yeah, no wonder. Oh, Poison. Poison would work, so I'm happy to throw down a load of poison on the little prick. But we might as well just do a chain of shed loads of poisons. Or not. He's clearly quite resistant to poison. But still, worthwhile trying, I suppose. But we'll go back to diversity, so we've got some healing for Zaz. And once we've done that, I guess we'll go back to Relentless Assault and see how far... I mean, you sounded like you were dying there, Vanille. You really weren't. I mean, I think I might actually win. Which is unexpected, but pleasant enough. Primarily because he hasn't actually unleashed 1,000 Needle or 10,000 Needle, which surprises me. I'll take the win. 5 stars as well. I'll doubly take that. Marvellous. I imagine surely, is there a twist? A turn? Or something? Nope. Okay, cool. I'll take that. Just beat a cactuar. I mean, they're not always troublesome, I suppose, but as is evidenced. But usually, 1,000 Needle. There are certain enemies in the Final Fantasy sort of pantheon of enemies. I don't know if you'd classify it as a pantheon, I suppose. But in their monster history, there are certain enemies you have to be wary of. Sometimes not so much. Sometimes hugely. The only one we haven't seen so far, I think, of the sort of kind of, I suppose, triumvirate. Well, I suppose, which one would I consider another one? I suppose Ochus are quite high up there, but we've not seen Malboros, I don't think. Not as far as my brain is thinking. We probably don't want to meet one of them, certainly. That one is a definite no, don't meet one of those, please. We've met Cactua now. The other one would be the guys whose name was in my brain and then disappeared. Tomberries. We don't necessarily want to meet a Tomberry. My dear sweet sister set out with her grandiose dreams of saving the chocobos, but never returned. I have sought her crystal high and low, but it is nowhere to be found. Can it be that she turned Seath? No, she will return. She must. But until she does, there is no one to defend the flock. Perhaps if I complete her focus, the fal'Cie will set her free. I will set out for the font of Namva at dawn and put an end to the Huggins predation. Yeah, this is Sir Huggins at the fucking Chocobo font again. Jesus Christ, game. Do you wanna be a bit more obnoxious with your decision making? Right, yeah, we are. I do have an issue here. I think I'm screwed. Because I can't really. I don't think I can get out of here. Like, in a reasonable fashion. Unless I can just bypass those guys. But I'm fairly convinced I can't. Because I think they take up the entire gap. And I can't leap down there without the chocobo. And I've now lost the chocobo. Shit. I really thought they were going to leave the chocobo up here this time. Yeah, I should be able to bypass this one, but I'm not convinced I can bypass the others. So, I'm assuming they wouldn't have allowed you to just get stuck because you gave up the chocobo. It is feeling a little bit like they've allowed me to get stuck because I gave up the chocobo. Hopefully. Yeah. Oh, actually, there's enough gap, which is quite good. The big chunky fellas don't tend to move that much. Fun fact: if you do look at the map, you can see. I think you can see the enemies you'll be fighting. Sometimes difficult, and sometimes you misinterpret it because yes. Oh, they're adamant tortoises. Interesting. Well, I suppose we might as well have a go since we're here, but yeah, I hadn't planned on it. I didn't realise that was going to be their name. But yeah, we'll take down the Gorgonopsids because they're just going to be a pain in the arse. And then we'll start focusing... Never mind. I mean, I did say that was going to happen, didn't I? I did specify. Every time I've looked at one of those things, I have specified that that was going to be the outcome. So there you go. I have been proven 100% correct in my assessment of the outcome of fighting one of those things. So it might be better to go around the other side. I could have avoided the Gorgonopsids though, I think. But it might prove awkward. Oh, careful, careful. Come on, keep on running, keep on running, keep on running. Come on, no. There we go. I made it out of a tricky situation. I saved myself. Right, yeah, so just sort of across the angle and... But you can see there, that really sums up the sort of go back and forth mentality. You had to go to the chocobos first in order to really get up on that... Well, actually no, because obviously I got down without a chocobo, but that's not the point. Shut up. Leave me alone. My thoughts don't have to make sense. But you had to sort of unlock the chocobos in order to go up there. But even... I don't know. It's back and forth. Back and forth. That's the issue. But if you were able to lift up to, you know, more than one request, you could have actually gone up there, grabbed that one that tells you to go and kill a Sahagin near the chocobos. Then you could have grabbed that first one that I did that said go deal with Sahagins near the chocobos, and you could have combined the two and done them really, you know, efficiently if you wanted to. But obviously here, it's a case of running back and running forth, running back and forth and back and forth, then forth and back, just to switch it up. But it's still running back and forth, even if you do switch it up. If you go forth and then back and forth, it's slightly more efficient, but it's still tiresome. Just running back and forth across a landscape like this, as beautiful as it is, it's still less than optimal. I'll get off the chocobo here and have a save on the save point. I might also, yeah, might be worthwhile knuckling down and dealing with the weapons situation. Access that. What we'll do, we'll save it first, then check the Crystarium. It's not been as long and I haven't done as many battles, so no, it's not worthwhile bothering. Let's have a look in the upgrades. I'll probably focus on weapons first. Don't know whether that's a great idea or a bad idea, but we'll do it. Well, since we've got sort of... I mean, it doesn't make that much difference, but as we've kind of got Vanille in the party at the moment, it might be worthwhile dealing with her first. So what we'll do is we'll pop 6 of them on. What we got? Nice 25% bonus. We'll pop another 6 of them. 50% bonus, okay. Couple of them. No, that didn't do anything for me. 5 of them. That's got the bonus up a little bit more. Can we get a bit... there we go. Right, we've now got a 100% bonus. So let's try and find one of our big tools. Is the Cactodol? No. Particle Accelerator, however. Yes. I mean, at some point I need to use them, so I'll go for it. So it's gone up from level 6 to level 10, but still has a lot more it can do, it would say. I don't know what their sort of levels cap out at, but let's try and go to the lesser items again to build up that experience bonus. 1.5. So if I do another 10 of those chipped fangs, it won't do anything. Cool, cool. There we go. Right, now we're up to 100% bonus. We want to drop down to some of the big things. Perfect conductors. Another like 10 grand. So I don't know if we really want to go. I don't know how high the level is, so we'll stick 10 grand in. It's gone up to level 14. Still going. Still going. It's fine. I won't take it too much higher, because otherwise I'll run out of stuff for everybody else. So we'll work on the Umbra, see if we can't get that a little bit higher. Moistened scales. Go on, let's pop some moistened scales in. Can we get... No, we can't get another bonus out of that. No, okay. Regrind claw, no. Gargantuan claw, there we go, up to 75%. A bit of luck. Can we clip into the next bonus? 100%, marvellous, right. Let's find another hefty points one. Solenoid, active deflectors. I think the best one is probably this crystal doodad. I'll pop that in, up to 8. Marvellous. Still got a bit of bonus to it, but we'll pop a few more of them in. I'll pop a couple more in. That's it, now we've got the ×2 bonus. We can pop down here. Tears of Remorse, were they good? No. No. Trying to find things with high value. So bomb cores. Bomb cores very much fit the bill. Level 10 now. So if we can't get up Monstrous Fangs, can we get you up to 1.5? Sinister Fangs, go on, stick them in. Oh, 200% bonus, okay. I must admit, I didn't realise it went up that high, otherwise I've been doing that a little bit more. Shitloads of points there, up to level 14. And we'll come out of there and do some Zaz guns, the Procyon, that'll do. Let's see... Severed wings, abominable wings. We're just going to basically use everything. Just throw a load of shit in there. And hope for the best. Oh, yes. That'll do. Up to level 8, superb. Now let's go back up here. Torn leather. 1.25. Smooth hides. 1.75. A few more of them perhaps. 100% bonus. That'll do for one of the bigger high-end items. This might not be the best method of doing this, I'd like to point out. So if you're considering on taking this as a tutorial, I will use my oft-utilised catchphrase, which is not a tutorial. But as far as I know, this is kind of how you do. Really, you just sort of try and get the biggest bonus you can in the sort of times bonus thing, and then you pop some of the larger high-end bits in that will get you the most points. Looks like we've kind of run out of high-end bits though, so it might not be worthwhile doing too much more, because otherwise it's sort of pitiful experience being churned into them, which probably makes it. The butterfly valve, go on, we'll stick the butterfly valve in. How much do we get out of that? Reasonable amount, we'll stick that in. Get up to level 14, cool. So my active party, or my current active party, are all up at level 14 weapons. And I don't, as I say, I don't know precisely what the level is, where you get the cap that says, here you go, you're done. Here you go, you're very much done, son. Yes, indeed. Are they raptors? I've got a nasty feeling they're going to be raptors. Because if they're raptors, we're going to be in trouble here. Because they are Ceratopraptors, of course. I mean, we have to defeat them first. And there's 4 of them? Christ, game. Don't want much for a human being, do you? Fucking hell. We've already fought Ceratopraptors, so I don't think I have to worry about that. No, we don't. But we do have to worry about killing them very quickly, because courtship dance. Pain in the scrotum is the courtship dance. once we can get rid of them. I tell you, it might end up being a good opportunity to summon. Hell of a TikTok you've got there, which I don't think is going to remain his nickname, but it's Vanille's Eidolon. Oh Christ Almighty! What have we got? Oh, I'm healing, which is not helpful for targeting. Right, they are at least facing off against the Raptors, so that's something. But this is feeling unviable. But we'll try and carry on. However, it's worthwhile just summoning Hecunton here immediately or not. Might be better to try and whittle them down a bit more. Oh god, I've got 3 more Raptors to deal with. This is an inconvenience. That's right. I'm pretty much renegated to perma-medic at this point because there's just so many enemies is the problem. And that's why we have to defeat the Raptors, which unfortunately I think they've lost focus on what they're supposed to be doing, yeah. Ceratosaurs, Ceratoraptors is what you need to be targeting, guys. Oh, great. Zaz is dead, but that's not the end of the world, because we can raise him. But we are struggling to retain life. So, I think... Go! It's time to summon! She doesn't bother with the last part of the word, it would seem. Just come here, Hecaton. There is an extra part of the name I'd like to point out, but it's a fuck ton of arms. Yes, there you go. See, she just calls him Hecaton. I mean, if you're just going to take away half the word, obviously that's going to be very useful in pronouncing the whole thing. Maybe I should have considered that. And in fairness, if we're going to go down that route, might as well call him Heck. Right, Heck? Come on down. But yeah, multi-armed, thin dude. In his sort of summoned form, like this, he is actually quite entertaining and quite good. Oh, I think I'm still going to die here. Oh, God, vehicle mode, because I am going to die. And I don't really want to lose... I don't want to lose the opportunity to go vehicle mode. But vehicle mode for this, it's... I mean, we decided it was Gundog last week, and that's an accurate enough description. She just sort of straddles the Gundog, which sounds ruder than I realised it was going to. Chain cannons, missile tetrad. But it really is, like, you know, even down to the fact that it's all sort of piercing rays, force blasters, force blasters, carry on force blasters. That's what we need to do here. Right, ideally, are you going to focus on the other raptor? That's what we like to see. If we do another one of those, we're going to be using everything. So, the Gaian Salvo. Yes, go. Bring out those big guns. Whoa, that is a hell of a finisher. Also, it got very handsy there at the end, which is one of those ones that just makes you go, oh, Japan. Just everything about the end of that summon was just you looking at it going, oh, Japan. One sea petal scale. All that effort, and I got one sea petal scale. And one Rodocroso. Oh well, I suppose it's done now. One Slade Sagan. I've got a Saggy Slayer. Right, now we've seen Hecunton a little bit. I think I'll change my character back to a character I actually like. So I will be Snow. Snow's time to shine, and that's what he'll do. He's a shiny boy, and he will shine for you. Right, let's see what we... I suppose, arguably, I probably should go back and get another Chocobo. Where are we at with some of these quests? So we have done 1 through 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we've done 1 through 17 perfectly. Now, that's interesting. If we can just... No, not zoom in. Whereabouts is that? Interesting. Yeah, there's two more... Oh, wait, no, that's confusing. That's what that is. Yeah, there's that one, there's those ones. None of those, none of those. None of those, none of those. So that, I think, is the one we've dismissed as being 52. But that one I don't recognise. So I am wondering if maybe it'll be worthwhile... Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be worthwhile grabbing another chocobo, because while they do move quicker... And luckily I don't think we'll ever find out whether they smell as bad on the inside as the outside, despite the obvious similarities there. Arguably they might be based on the Tauntaun, because I know a lot of the time, fun little fact for any Star Wars fans, which theoretically some of you are, depends on who's left, but fun fact for Star Wars fans, there's often a pair. I don't think they've certainly not appeared yet, from my understanding of this of 13. So they might not appear in this one. But because I can't remember who it was, so I do apologise for not having that detail to hand. But owing to the fact that one of the old Final Fantasy developers was a huge fan of Star Wars, usually a pair of inept guards is the norm for these two that turn up. Not always. Final Fantasy VII, they weren't inept guards. Wow. They weren't guards. Their ineptitude is still roughly the same, but they just weren't guards. But yeah, Biggs and Wedge. Biggs and Wedge turn up in Final Fantasy games, which is a unusual little crossover, which is always quite amusing to have. Yeah, so pretty much just sort of follow the path. Follow the things. And, oh, I'll tell you what we should try with the Chocobo, of course. No, I think the Chocobo is happy to dance. I don't think the Chocobo will stop you doing this. They clearly didn't have time to implement some kind of... No, I refuse to dance. Although knowing my luck, it will just buck me off, and I'll be having to run around on my own 2 feet again. But yeah, no, I don't think it's got. I don't think it's got a. You're dicking me about. I'm going to stop you now. Button. But each of them do. It would seem, as far as I can tell, which makes a degree of sense because they're all different body shapes, aren't they? So, but each of them has their own sort of unique positioning atop the Chocobo, which is quite good. Because as I say... Oh, hello. God, is it worth it? Probably not, but I'll try tackling another Cactua. Don't know whether... No idea. I mean, we've obviously unleashed Cactua amongst... upon the area, but whether it's worthwhile tracking down more than one, I do not know. I missed how much CP, crystal points, how much crystal points they actually provide. So exactly the same as last time, yeah. So probably worthwhile doing a bit of bullying. Everybody loves a bit of bully. In 1, we've got haste. In 2, I don't know. Still a haste. We're still working haste at the moment. In 3, end fire. Nice, nice choice. I think a nice choice anyway. If it suddenly reveals it absorbs fire, I'd be bloody annoyed, but no, it doesn't. It's weak to fire, so nice choice. That's. I don't know if I ever actually finished it. I think I started a couple of times now. I've started this, but the key thing about scanning enemies, because it knows the weakness is fire, that is what is affecting Zaz's decision to put end fire on our weapons. If it was not weak to fire, he would not do that. So the auto battle is quite intelligent once you've scanned creatures. You don't necessarily have to scan them if you just fight them for a prolonged period of time. So if you just fight a load of different ones, what the auto battle will do is it will go through a series of elements and just ascertain the information for you. So you don't necessarily have to scan everything, but it does make it quicker. It does rather makes life a little quicker, that's right. She's gotten surprisingly far in before we just started humming random noises. A little bit of the old scat about the scat stinging in the singing and the scat. Can scats sting? I don't know. But you certainly can't speak. 5,000 crystal points? I mean, it's not bad value. Wouldn't necessarily have said it was some kind of spectacular value beyond comparison, but certainly not bad. So I suppose there might be another purpose for... I mean, to a certain extent, I suppose I've probably managed... That was the wrong button, as usual. But I've probably managed to sort of unlock it. Others? I would think it's others. Oh, no, maybe not. Then, feral creatures, surely. Cactuars by themselves, I was going to say. Oh, you don't actually get information. I thought you got a little description. That's a shame. I always do like a bit of sort of fluff text around you. Oh, there's another one. I suppose we might as well. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't really know the benefit of killing quite so many cactuars. If there is one. If there isn't one, fuck. I'm just wasting my time, but... As I say, I've now, over the course of 2 cactuar battles in the last few minutes, I have got 10,000 crystal points. So, I can't necessarily critique and criticise that scenario too much. It's quite good to get... It is doing 777 damage as well, isn't it? Oh, no, not guaranteed. Maybe that was just a coincidence. I wondered if it was doing a guaranteed 777 every single kick. But what I am very surprised at, I suppose maybe I'm going to end up... Maybe it's only going to be like Big Daddy Cactuar. And maybe I'm accidentally pissing off Big Daddy Cactuar at this exact moment in time. But I'm surprised not to have seen a needle attack. Which, I mean... It's surprising but pleasing. It makes it a lot easier when they're not trying to trash you with... It's usually either 1,000 needles or 10,000 needles. And both of those tends to be a case of each needle is meant to be doing 1 damage, which means 1,000 needles do 1,000 damage. And 10,000 needles, do I really need to do the math for you? Fair enough. 10,000 damage, which is quite a lot. I mean, that's a lot of damage. 10,000 is usually enough to kill a party member no matter what game you're in. No matter what scenario you've got, 10,000 is usually enough to smite a player character. The one benefit, I suppose, is it can usually, it only does it to 1 single target, which means you do have the ability to revive said target, only for it to probably do it again and then kill another one. But you know, as long as you've got the ability to revive them, you can sort of just go in as kind of kill revive cycle. Not the most sort of interesting way of winning battles, but it is a viable one if you've got an enemy that's doing shed loads of damage to you. Another 5 stars, another 5 grand. Marvellous. 5 grand of crystal points, not 5 grand in actual hard cash. Where are we going? Pretty much in front of me. Don't know whether I may or not. No, I think we can bypass that thing. Just walk around. It's got its little friends behind it. Could possibly try and back attack it and take it down, but truth be told, I don't really need to. Low path, high path, low path. Just get in the middle of the paths. Am I hearing a treasure chest? No, I'm not. I will take those guys down. I might take all of these guys down this little hole. Down in hole. I'm gonna remove all the enemies in the dip. I've been in dip and I'm taking care of business in the dip. Do. Just keep punching a dog. That is the secret to... I said keep punching dogs. Don't miss a kick on a dog. If you'd paid attention, Snow, you'd have understood that, wouldn't you? You'd have understood that I didn't ask you to try and kick a dog. and miss, I asked you to punch a dog. If you just keep punching a dog, you seem quite adept at punching dogs. However, you do keep seeming to miss the kick. There you go. You also sort of felt accomplished, I suppose, because technically it disappeared as you were punching, but I think it disappeared just before you were punching, so you were fairly sort of useless in that situation, but never mind. That's just going to link me up there, so I'm not that fussed about that chocobo. The little chocobo thing. It's yellow, which makes me slightly concerned about whether that's going to be a good one to take on or not. I mean, ideally it's going to be, what, 18? 17, 18 I think we're at now. So with a bit of luck, it is either 17, 8 or 18. So I can fill in that gap, but very difficult to know for certain. And we are sort of... Every time I think we're running out of options, it does, in fairness, start providing them. Plus 20 through 20... I mean, 20 plus... I couldn't say if it was 20 through 25. 20 plus is probably the other side of the tower, because that's where we dealt with 20. So we might want to do the tower, depending on what this... Oh, 54. Okay. Ah, the Gigantua. That's going to be... That will definitely utilise some form of needle attack. Probably 10,000 needles. But yeah, we five Lassia, the shepherds will see the caravan safe from harm. Though we act as one, it falls to me to fulfil our focus, for I am the leader. And what manner of leader would shirk this most onerous of duties? I could not abide such shame. The eastern tors are the dominion of our mark, a fell Gigantua. It is said to frequent the rides within Ortoi's territory. For honour, the foul sea, and my brothers, I will slay the spiny scourge, and carve my own legend in its ruined husk. No. Terrible waste of time going all the way out there, but I didn't know. I didn't know it was gonna be a complete waste of time. Another bloody cactuar over there. Let's have a look. Yeah, we've got about 3,000. But that does sort of mean we are ever so slightly sort of shit out of luck in terms of next step, because that's definitely a high level that we don't really want to be doing, and there's no other shinies apart from that cluster there, which is ones we don't want to be doing. So what number are we after? Have we done 1 through 20? No, we haven't. We're after 18 and 19 ideally. That one's after 30, which I think is probably still just a little bit out of my target range, which makes it a little bit pointless going all the way back down that sort of ridge just to find out it is distinctly outside of my target range. So I'm thinking what I might do is I might take that teleporter, pop down here, probably deal with these two again, because it's a relatively simple fight, truth be told, and if you've got the opportunity for a relatively simple fight, you might as well take it in order to build your crystal points up a bit more. Do, kick a dog, punch a king. Now keep punching, said king. Go now, stagger him. And if we're lucky... Okay, that wouldn't be lucky. If we're lucky... Nope, we are not lucky. It transformed. Bugger. Oh well, carry on hitting it, because it's currently transformed but slightly weak, because of course it's staggered. So carry on whacking. You whack it in a jacket, kick it in the dick, stuff it in the chuff. All Nick Helm references. Well, not specific, I suppose. They probably existed as phrases before he said them, but in terms of where I got them from, it's Nick Helm. Oh, that was an interesting kick. I think he did a sort of real fancy flip attack, it looked like that. It's weird, I don't know where that came from, really. Because usually, yeah, it's the big sort of double sledge, rather than a sort of actual flippy kick, but maybe it was some kind of variant based on an ability, but I don't know how I activated the ability, so or what prompted the activation of the ability, I should say, because I don't have any control over some of these abilities. So, for instance, he will now start launching the creature. I don't have control over that. It happens because the creature is staggered, and because I have the launch ability. So most of the abilities are all automatically sort of in the background and will activate at any given time that is appropriate to their sort of definition. They are defined in their sort of defined when they are active, and then they go off and active. Right, activate. Teleport. Taijin's Tower. Yes, I think that's the one we want. If we pop over to Taijin's Tower, next week we'll perhaps do Taijin's Tower, which will, you know, progress us a little bit more in the story rather than wandering around the wastelands, wasting time. Wasting time in the wastelands. Right, whereabouts are we in terms of being here? Right, so we're right sort of at the beginning. I don't know, was it? Ah, there is a save point in Taijin's Tower. So, yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do this string of bits and bobs here, defeat these enemies, hopefully get some back attacks. Marvellous. Defeat the string of enemies, get into the tower, save it, and then next week we'll tackle the tower. And I think we're probably a suitable level to tackle the tower. I don't think anything's going to sort of... I don't think it's going to be too difficult. These Managamas are going down relatively easy. And I should be sort of... I think statistically speaking I am slightly more powerful than I'm supposed to be at this exact moment in time. Not by too much, I don't think. I think enemies are still going to be able to provide a bit of a challenge. But I do believe I am slightly sort of more beefy than is entirely necessary in terms of the game's enemy progressions. Of course, I might end up going in the tower and going, oh shit, no, I'm vastly weak, and have to come back out again, but that's a journey for next week, I'm sure. Carry on attacking, carry on bashing. He missed me. Luckily, Snow just accidentally sort of jumped back after having done his attacks, and that allowed me to miss the storm conduction. I was discussing that last week, that a lot of dodges are just random chance in this one, because the storm conduction especially is an area of effect around the beastie, and if you are not around the beastie, the storm conduction is useless. So there you go. Now we're collecting more sinister fangs. Fangs for that. Might be attacked by a bird. Not overly fussed if I am attacked. I mean, yeah, go on, fuck it. Seems he did turn up. If he'd not turned up, I wouldn't necessarily have bothered turning round, but seems he does. He did actually come in and make the effort. I'll make the effort to kick the shit out of him. So he is ultimately going to regret 100% coming down and trying to tackle me. But although he might get... Usually this bloody... It'll be interesting to see if he does manage it this time, because 9 times out of 10, the big feeding swoop that he does kill someone. So that might be a good indicator of how far we've come, if anywhere. So that... If nobody dies to the feeding swoop, we'll know we've gotten stronger. But arguably, I need a full health bar to test that fairly. If they are sort of partially healthy, the feeding swoop's all the more likely to kill them. So I'm slightly annoyed that the creature is mostly targeting Vanille, because of all the characters, like Snow could probably tank a feeding swoop without giving too many shits. Whereas Vanille, of course, she can't. She has to give many shits when it comes to tanking any manoeuvre. I might be able to just bypass those guys, they're a bit far off. There's no need to... no need to go out of my way for more enemies. We have faced quite a few of them today. Partially the game's fault, partially my own fault for being insistent that I face off against almost everything. It is very much sort of, if an enemy's in my path, I have to face it. It's why I don't do well, for a myriad of other reasons as well, I suppose, but it's why I don't do too well at Dark Souls. Because a lot of that is when, once you've gotten so far, you should probably be just skipping past enemies and bypassing everything. Whereas I insist on fighting everything, which puts me at a disadvantage. But what can I say? If there's an enemy in front of me, it has to be smoked. I don't like it being here. I don't like it being a thing. I'm just tapping the buttons. I don't know if you can hear that, but I am. I'm now sort of I'm I'm one-handing again, and I am in fact resting my chin. I've got the control sort of vertically up so that it's sort of perpendicular to how you would usually have a control, and I am resting my chin upon the control and resting my head upon it. It'd be slightly unfortunate if I actually have to heal myself, because I'm going to have to come out of that position, but this enemy is so worthless, I don't even need to, you know, I can just sort of rest my eyes and rest my chin and rest my head. Yeah. He's going to, yeah, I was going to say he's going to start kicking the shit out of me now. I've insulted him. I've besmirched his good name, so I think we best take it seriously. The moment you besmirch an enemy's name, they start going, no, 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 I think you'll find I can beat you. I've just been not trying very hard. I think we're still going to be alright. They're not a difficult one. They're an upgrade to the Gorgonopsid, but that's about it. That's all they've really got to their name. They are a slight upgrade to the Gorgonopsid. Back into the tower. Back in the tower again. Where we did have an investigate of those sort of shiny materials, didn't we? Although mostly we ended up investigating Fang's boobs, but I will clarify, it was designed to investigate the materials there. It was accidental boob investigation. Which I said to the courts, but they weren't having it. I've seen a treasure chest over there. I kind of want that treasure chest now. Oh, it's on the way to the treasure chest as well. Nah, fuck them. We'll take them down. You came at me, so I'm going to kill you. How dare you come at me, sir? I didn't ask for that. So now you're gonna have to die. Die now. I remove your soul. For you came at me, and I did not appreciate that. Oh dear. Two of them. Although having said that, it was two of them last time. They just do seem to be slightly tougher. I doubt statistically they are, because they're theoretically exactly the same as the ones I was facing outside, but you never know. They may have buffed them a little bit for the indoor area. Oh dear. Come on, Vanille, we need you. And it's probably a lot of that's to do with being imperiled. It means their storm conduction is doing more damage to me. Which is not what you want here. No, it's not what you want. It is very much not what you want to see here. You do not want to take more damage from the things. You don't want extra damage. No, sorry. You want as little damage as possible. As little damage as possible. Oh no, no, please don't hit me, me, I didn't mean it. I was about to change to Relentless Assault, but then they started electrocuting me again. There we go, this should speed up the process a little bit. Should be able to get some stuff in. Is it weak to flame? No, weak to water. Okay. Anybody got some water spells? Yeah, there you go. Good girl, Vanille. Good girl. You never let me down, never let me down. My wonderful Vanille. She never lets me down, never lets me down. I can piss about with the battle and let the enemies hit me. And then she heals, she heals, she heals. She always heals me for the right stuff. My wonderful Vanille. It's based on my marvellous metronome. But I figured I'd change it. It's funny. Funny hee hee ha ha hoo hee 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 hee. That's what we like to hear. We like to hear hoo hoo hee hee hee. Grab this treasure while we're here. 12 chipped fangs. Who put 12 chipped fangs in a container? A madman. Only a madman. Gosh darn it. Oh, the objects of interest are the statues, yeah. I can't remember what the statues do. If I was a betting man, I'd say they come to life and try and kill me. But I'm not sure. They might pull a slightly different trick. Pull a different trick and a different gambit on you when it comes down to... Oh, fast, isn't you? Not fast enough. And that's embarrassing, really, considering the fact that I am just trudging along idly. Oh, there you go. You had a go. I mean, I hope you enjoyed having a go. Did you know what? No. No, mate, you did. You had a go, didn't you? So I'm taking you down. You tried to hit me in my buttocks. I don't appreciate that fact. I have magnificent buttocks, and I don't need them whipped by the likes of you. You and your spiny weird thing on your paw. How dare you try to blemish my beautiful buttocks. They are not to be blemished. I do not want marks on my butt. It is my best feature, everybody says so. But then they do ask me to put my trousers back on as well. But they first note how nice it is. Maybe don't say that when I'm talking about my buttocks, Zaz. You should see your daddy now. I don't want to see daddy's buttocks. Nobody needs that in their life, do they? Do you know what? Fuck it. We're going to go for the completion of monster killing in this lower floor. They'll all be back next week, but, you know, for this week, I feel accomplished and satisfied that I've killed everything in this floor. Why does that matter? It doesn't. Never mind. Oh well. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh my. Oh me. Oh morally. Dear little body. See, I tell you, this is what happens when left alone and nobody talks. You just get bubbly bubbly just get weird noises. Give me a topic, give me a chat, or you get a load of tat. Right, what we'll do is we'll save it first. No, not over a new one, please. Over the old one, thank you. Now we will... Yeah, we might as well deal with the Crystarium. Well, might as well get them back to 0 while we're putting it away now. I can't tell if I'm a kingpin or a pauper. Probably a pauper then, aren't you? Yeah, you're probably right. Do. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. I don't want to give it away, give it away, give it away now. I want to charge people for it. That's fair. Charge it away now. Charge it away now. Ask for a modest fee now. I can't tell if I can do that or not now. Ooh, what can the matter be? Zaz has finished all of his gubbins. Yeah, free, 13, 30, 30, 30, Ravager, free, 16, 35, 20, 20, free, 9, 26, 19, 9, 1. So, I might as well pop him into a new role, but what role do I think would he be suited for? I'm sorely tempted to go Saboteur. Sentinel I'm not really even remotely considering for him. Might not be the world's worst, but I don't think he'd be the best either. I mean, in fairness, actually, he's probably got... Yeah, I mean, compared to everybody else, he does have the chunkiest health bar. So if I did want a second Sentinel, he's probably the better suited to being another Sentinel. Can't deny seeing that information in front of me. I do feel maybe Sentinel would be the best bet. Okay, what we'll come back to it. We'll assess that situation in a moment or two. Once I've dealt with everybody else, see if anybody else has the ability to move on. She's definitely looking close, but I don't think she'll quite make it to the end. So we don't necessarily have to worry about where she's going. But she's potentially going to be best as a saboteur, maybe? Lightning... Ooh, blimey. Where lightning would be best suited to go into. It might be better to focus her efforts on maybe being another saboteur. She's not got an intolerable magic power. But, yeah, difficult to know for certain. Plus, I don't think, again, I think it's only going to be Zaz that we need to concern ourselves with. And technically I could, I don't know, I'm assuming there's probably another layer to their sort of areas, so I could possibly just save up the CP, but I feel like it's probably going to be more efficient to just crack through a few more statistical upgrades for them. But yeah, I'm leaning closer and closer to just popping him into Sentinel. Buffing his stats via Sentinel usage. Whether I actually ever use him as the Sentinel role, I do not know, but we'll perhaps give him the option of having the Sentinel role. But then again, if I want to boost his magic primarily, that might be better suited to one of the other roles. Which one would perhaps suit buffing his magic? I suppose I can actually tell, can't I? So there's 7 magic buffs there, 8 magic buffs in that one, and 8 magic buffs in there. So I think in terms of, truth be told, in terms of like actually making a huge difference, it's not going to make that much difference. Medic, having an extra medic might not go amiss. I usually run Saboteur and Synergist together, which means Saboteur's not that great an idea. Oh, what, fuck it, we'll stick him through medic training. You can learn to be a medic, sir. Oh, yes, you can, indeed. There we go, he's begun his journey as a medic. Yes, he has. Well, I don't actually think he can be a medic just yet. No, because he hasn't actually learnt an ability. He's just shy of getting Cure. So he still can't physically become a medic because he doesn't have an ability that he can use in the medic role. Which is an interesting little issue he's found. Save. I think, yeah, it's time for the triple save combo, and away it is to be put. Save there. Yeah, it's usually the last one, isn't it? So we want to save over that one. And then we want to pop back in and do the final save of our triple save combo. And that should put everything back to normal. And now we can exit happily. How do we exit happily? I can't remember how we exit happily. There we go, that's how we exit happily. We could exit sadly if we wanted to, but probably for the best we exit happily. Happiness is true. I've had a massive poo. It's big, it's long, it's brown. Oh fuck, it won't flush down. I'm not proud of that song. Who am I kidding? I'm super proud of that song. Anyway, let's pop to the interim slideshow and let's do some stuff. So I didn't do it when I probably should have done it, but I think anybody who was pre-existing in here already knows Mr. Baz Hicks, because I'm fairly certain it was just Mr. Blue Goosh who's already been in there and doing. But yes, thank you again. If you're still present, thank you for the raid. Very much appreciate that. Possibly should have specified that a bit more at the beginning, but and thank you for all new followings. It's very much a useful thing that helps me out no end. So thank you very much. For your evening's entertainment, I believe that works. Yes, yes. You have probably got Mr. Blue Goosh is firing it up at 9:30-ish, maybe. Can't say for certain. If he was present, he can correct or confirm. Then you've also got Mr. Malice Caliber, who, let's see, what was he doing? What was he doing? Oh, he's probably still doing his little he's doing his little thing on Twitch. You'll get banned for that. Deadly Rooms of Death. If you have any intrigue of Deadly Rooms of Death, do feel free to check that out. Yes. Cool. That's about it. So I will be back Monday, theoretically. It'll be confirmed. We do have a Discord server if you wish to join the Discord server. That's where most of the announcements go. Amazingly, in the it's no longer called the announcements channel. Actually, it's the town crier, because it's all designed to be a city. So it's a bit shitty in fairness, but nonetheless, that's the theming. If you fancy joining, do feel free. That's where most of the notifications will crop up. I'm trying to formulate a plan to make Monday a better stream, but then again, it's always going to be me, so it's always going to be a shit stream. What we're going to do, I don't know. I might just knock it on the head and retire my arts hole to a new pasture. Wednesday we'll do, theoretically, again, we'll do Morph Wednesday for anybody present who missed it. That is the Wednesday. That's what you've got to look forward to in Wednesday. It's on Wednesdays, and it's, the first week was Sans Friends, because nobody turned up. But you never know. Maybe one day there'll be a friend in Friends Day. Let's put it back to the interim slideshow. So that probably more Don't Starve together. Don't Starve alone in the together version. And then Thursday's the normal Dragon Quest Builders 2 and a little bit of this War of Mine. And then back to SaturJay RPG with Final Fantasy XIII. So let's see if there's a person available to wander into in terms of raiding. Let's see. Not a huge amount of options there. I'm assuming he's no longer doing Darkroom at the moment because he's doing the old 48-hour, slightly more maybe, I don't know, huge amount. Or there's just chatting there. I don't know, he's probably the more entertaining of the group of people available there. So we'll pop in there. See, there we go. We'll set up a raid for Mr. Rob Otron, the lovely Irish fella. Rob Otron. Don't say that to him though, because I think it annoys him. Plus, it's not really original anymore. Many people have said it. Anyway, so standard procedure. I'll say cheerio. I'll turn off the stream, and then, well, I'll do the raid and then turn off the stream, I suppose. But anyway, cheerio.